everything you said it would be, man. I went up there and got me some...
Good morning, everyone.
And when I went up there, man, he was very courteous. My whole family was going around.
Good morning, good morning. Oops. See, this is the mic I use for YouTube. It's different than the radio mic. Good morning, everyone. Make sure you like the video before we get started. If you're new, subscribe. Lots going on today. Oh, my goodness. Here we go. Good morning, good morning. Make sure you spread the word about the MAGA radio show and MAGA YouTube channel of record, this one right here. And get everyone you know to sub. Because here we are. We're at the end of the year. Right around the corner is our midterm election. Trump draining the swamp. Good morning, everyone. My name is Brian Craig. You are listening to the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest-running radio show on the radio since 1977. Welcome. It is Thursday morning, December 9th. 2021, and if you're new to the show, welcome, and those of you that are not, tell all your friends and family about this program. Tell a friend to tell a friend about what I can say with quite confidence. This is the MAGA radio show of record. The MAGA radio show of record right here, the Steve Kane Show, also the longest running radio show in Florida, and you know, here we are approaching a new year. And I'm not into New Year's resolutions, but this year I am. And the New Year's resolution that all of us that are MAGA should make is to make America great again, and follow Trump to victory in the midterms and drain the swamp of these rhino rats, Republicans against Trump. Take back the House, take back the Senate with MAGA control, and then, of course, all the way back to the White House in 2024 with President Trump, who will not only be our 45th, but 47th President of the United States, and we're going to do it right here, and that is by spreading the word. So anyone you know that is not listening to this program, make sure that they do on the radio every morning or overnights, and if you listen online, whatever platform you listen to online, get your friends tuned in there, and of course, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Just search Brian Craig on YouTube. I add content up there all the time, including live streaming the radio show every morning, so you can see me in high definition with our very active and very opinionated chat room. But I also put a lot of other videos up there as well, including my podcast with my wife on my YouTube channel. But, you know, we're coming into a very important time in this country. And it's and I'm going to make a very bold prediction. Now, you guys have seen the Hillary Clinton crocodile tears moment, and I'm just going to play some of it. I know it went on for a long time, but I can't stomach listening to Hillary for very long at all. And she's going to have a new MasterClass. Let me share this with you. This is a Mediaite. Former Secretary of State, who was a failed Secretary of State. Remember what happened in Benghazi? on her watch. That's right. Former Secretary of State and Democratic presidential candidate Hillary Clinton is sharing the speech she would have given 5 years ago had she defeated Donald Trump. Clinton spoke to NBC's Willie Geist about her decision to unveil the speech for an upcoming MasterClass program on the power of resilience. You know, if Hillary Clinton was giving a MasterClass, it wouldn't be in resilience. And what her MasterClass would be in covering up crimes of your cheating, lying, scummy husband. Another MasterClass she could give, she could probably co-teach this with someone from the Harvey Weinstein company, but she could teach another course on how to destroy the reputation of women who are victims of sexual abuse from your husband. That'd be another MasterClass that Mrs. Clinton could teach. But let me play this clip, and then I'll get into why I'm playing this. This is Hillary Clinton crying
to her and sitting down next to her, taking her in my arms and saying, "Look at me, listen to me. You will survive. You will have a good family of your own and 3 children. And as hard as it might be to imagine, your daughter will grow up and become the President of the United States."
Okay. Yeah, Hillary Clinton, she's got emotion there. Oh, my goodness. Something we've never seen from Mrs. Clinton before. You will survive. Is that some new take on Gloria Gaynor's disco hit? I don't know. I believe there's something in play here. Otherwise, I wouldn't even share this with you. Hillary Clinton and the Democrats are up to something. And I think it's a 2-step plan. And I'm serious as a heart attack about this. There obviously is a move to get Kamala out of the vice presidency. How they're going to do that, we're not sure. There's been some stories leaked, probably by her, about the Supreme Court. I believe that Hillary Clinton is angling to be the vice presidential replacement to Kamala Harris. That's right. And then go on to be the Democrat nominee in 2024 and run for president then. They may even think in their minds that Joe Biden is going to be, because of his condition, forced to resign and making her the president of the United States. You know, there's a lot of panic going on out there in the Democrats over Kamala Harris. And if you look, they have no candidates. They have no candidates. Who do they have? They had Governor Cuomo, who's now been discredited, thankfully. They have no one. They got this skinny pants governor out in California, Newsom. Are you kidding me? That's what I believe the plan is. I'd like to hear your thoughts on this. But I read it, and I put this together with something. I mentioned this on the show yesterday, I'm pretty sure. I read an article yesterday morning that the Clinton Foundation's donations have collapsed to almost 0%. The Clintons have no revenue source right now. They only made money through the selling of favors through the offices they held and connections they had. I'm not saying the Clintons are broke. They're rich people broke, but they don't have a lot of residual income. They've got some pretty large pensions as a former president and secretary of state and senator and all that, but that doesn't help them when your daughter has a $10 million apartment and things like this. You know what I mean? And in Laptop from Hell, Miranda Devine gets into this a little bit about the Bidens, and I've been talking about this for a year. Joe Biden ran for president because they blew all their money, and the family needed the money. They had no offices to sell. I think there's a similar thing going on with the Clintons. I think they have burned through the majority of their money. They have no offices to sell, no favors to sell. They don't hold office, so they have no corruption that they can market because that's the business they're in. And you know, she still thinks, and this is what's really frightening to me, when you hear this thing with Hillary Clinton with the crocodile tears. Hillary Clinton actually believes that she's a feminist role model. You know? And what I'd like to ask you is a couple of questions, and our number's toll-free from anywhere, 1-888-GO-CANE-1, 888-465-2631. Do you think my theory is insane, or do you agree that it's what's in play here? Talking about Hillary replacing Kamala, certainly Hillary becoming the nominee again in 2024. She is running for president. This MasterClass BS is her reintroduction into society, and she reintroduced herself into society with fake crying over herself to try to seem relatable. They have some polls that say that she's without emotion, she's a cyborg, so she has to come out with this fake crying. So I'd like to hear what you think about that. And also, who do you think would be worse as president and as the nominee in 2024, Hillary Clinton or Kamala Harris? Who would we be better off with? Hillary Clinton or Kamala Harris? I know it sounds nuts, but why did Madam Hillary come out of the cave of Chappaqua all of a sudden? Our number is toll-free from anywhere, 1-888-GO-CANE-1, 888-465-2631. You know, Hillary Clinton's a lot of things, but one thing she is not is self-aware. Hillary Clinton does not view herself as a washed-up old hag. Hillary Clinton does not view herself as a terrible person who has spent her life screwing people over to get to that next level, and that she's hated. You know, if you remember, after she lost to Trump, there was this very strange thing going on of Democrats going up to Hillary Clinton and thanking her. Remember that? Some woman spotted her in the woods in Chappaqua or something and went out and thanked her and put it on Twitter, and then everyone was thanking Hillary Clinton all the time. As much as you and I dislike Hillary Clinton, believe it or not, I don't understand it, I don't get it, I never will, but a lot of people on the left, women in this country, like her. Women in this country want a lady president, and they don't want Kamala. I'm sure they have poll data. Women don't like Kamala because she was having an affair way out in the open with a married man. And women will put up with a lot, but they don't like women who date married men. She did more than just have an affair. She was openly Willie Brown's girlfriend. Women do not like that. You can do the things to women that Hillary Clinton has done, destroy their reputations and things like this. That's one thing. But to openly date a married man, women don't like that. And Kamala Harris, she's not electable. She wasn't even electable among Democrats. Remember, she had to drop out of the primary. She was polling at 1% among Democrats. Isn't that crazy? Yeah, remember that? So she's not even liked among Democrats, and it's because, I wouldn't say she's a homewrecker, but women don't like women who date married men. And that's just something that she's never going to get over. Hillary Clinton, on the other hand, I really don't understand why people like Hillary Clinton. I don't even think she's interesting. And she's not smart. You know, when Bill Clinton first became president, everyone thought she was the brains in that couple. And it turned out the opposite was true. Bill Clinton was the brains in that family. Dick Morris said whatever decision Hillary ever made was wrong. She's like Joe Biden. She's not smart. She's not clever. She's not likable. This bizarre delusion she's in, that she's some type of feminist icon, is just bizarre. She's had two moments in her life where she failed and cracked up. The most recent one was on election night. She couldn't even come out and give a concession speech, which everyone does. She had a nervous breakdown. So she's not up to the stresses of the presidency. She had a breakdown on election night. And of course, the one time in her life she was in charge of something, she got people killed. A friend of hers, Chris Stevens, in Benghazi. But she doesn't view herself that way. She thinks she's a feminist icon. She thinks women and girls, for some reason, look up to her. She thinks she's a well-accomplished woman that has accomplished a lot of great things. So she's not self-aware at all. But the Democrats are desperate right now. We have a bench of great people. DeSantis, Noem, Matt Gaetz, Marjorie Taylor Greene, many others, and of course, the greatest president ever, the 45th and 47th president of the United States, Donald Trump. Who do they have? They got no one. They have no one. They have a checked out guy at the top who, he can't, come on. He can't run in 2024. They've got a vice president that is stupid. No one likes her. Completely incompetent. Even the people that work closest to her are quitting. Do you know, for people who are black to quit working for the first minority female vice president of the United States, they have to really be putting up with a lot to not get along with her. She can't even get along with sycophants, Kamala Harris. So she's not electable. Democrats are in a very, very desperate position. All right, we're going to take our first break of the day. When we get back, there's much more to talk about. I'd like to take your calls on this, though. 1-888-GO-CANE 1, 888-465-2631, 888-465-2631. Toll-free call. We'll be right back.
We've got you covered. AM 1470, FM 95.3, 96.9. South Florida's FM Money Talk Radio Network. WWNN, Pompano Beach.
Brian Craig here. You've heard Steve Kane talk about the great job. Wesley, $5 super chat. Thank you. Good morning, Brian. Hillary would be far worse. She'd go after Trump and all of her political enemies, and even us U.S. citizens with a vengeance, no doubt.
Thanks to the Steve Kane Show, my roof repairs were just completed by LaPorta Contractors. They were fast, professional, and the cost of the repairs was very reasonable. I've had 4 sections of roof repaired, and upon initial inspection, they were honest and told me that my roof was good and I didn't need a new one. I called many roofers, and they were all scammers. They all wanted to put on a new roof, and they said they wouldn't repair what I had. Thanks, Brian. Another fantastic sponsor.
Wow, that's an amazing testimonial from John in Wellington. Tom Laporta at Laporta Contracting will never sell you a roof that you don't need. Give him a call for a no-charge inspection of your roof. 954-604-4602. That number rings directly to Tom Laporta's cell phone. 954-604-4602. And online, LaportaContracting.com. So you've been told you need a health test. What are you going to have to pay? Health tests can be very expensive. If you go to your doctor's office or one of the big labs, it can cost you hundreds of dollars. Sometimes I haven't had lab tests because of the cost. Then I discovered Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs. Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs' goal is to get you all the lab tests you need, save you money, and get you in and out in 15 minutes or less. At Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs, you never need an appointment, no doctor's order, or prescription needed either. You can walk right in and have any of their thousands of lab tests done for just a fraction of the price the big labs or your doctor's office charge. Give them a call. 954-906-5983. 954-906-5983. Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs is located on the southeast corner of University and Ramblewood near the Coral Square Mall. Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs. Private and affordable lab testing. 954-906-5983.
Hi folks, Dr. Matez here, now with the BioStation West Delray. At BioStation West Delray, we continue to offer the highest level of experience and care you can find in the realm of hormone pellet and hormone replacement therapies. But that's just the start. We offer a full array of age management modalities, including state-of-the-art treatments for erectile dysfunction, sexual dysfunction in women, physical and sexual rejuvenation, and quite frankly, any sign or symptom of aging that you may have. And don't forget, we offer the complete array of all cosmetic modalities, including Botox, fillers, lasers, etc. Better energy, better sleep, better performance, and looks to die for. If this all sounds good to you, call us at 561-320-8893. That's 561-320-8893.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for it.
All right, 22 minutes after the hour. You know, if I were black, I'd be so famous. I'd be so famous. You know, all this talk about white privilege. There was a time when that existed before I was on the scene. But if I were black, I would be incredibly famous, a household name probably in this country. Because if you are black and you are conservative, boom, there you go. There you go. And this election season, we've got to be very, very, very careful. Very careful. Only support and vote for people that President Trump personally approves of, that you hear him with his own mouth say vote for them. Because there is a lot of what, Rush used to talk about Operation Chaos, remember all that? There's a lot of messing around in the Republican Party. For example, Dr. Oz. Everyone likes Dr. Oz. Now he's running as a Republican for the Senate in Pennsylvania. We find out he's a gun grabber. Is he pro-choice? I'm hearing crazy things about Dr. Oz. So don't let the power of celebrity, because someone's pleasant and you like them on television, have you give them their support. Now, if President Trump says vote for Dr. Oz, we'll have to support Dr. Oz, because President Trump has a big plan out there. So whoever Trump says support them, regardless of what your personal beliefs are, because President Trump knows more than we do about what his big plan is. But there's a lot of fake MAGA out there. There's a lot of fake conservatives out there. And Project Veritas exposed one with the Gateway Pundit. There's an article in the Gateway Pundit today. I tweeted this about a fake Republican who's black. His name is Alex Stovall. Listen to this. This is in the Gateway Pundit. After receiving a tip from the Gateway Pundit correspondent Jordan Conradson, and it's early, guys, Project Veritas got to work on exposing grifter Alex Stovall for who he really is. Alex Stovall is running for the United States Congress in Arizona's 9th Congressional District. He has no political experience. He believes he can win the race because he is young, black, and acts like a conservative. He's out there pretending to be a conservative. And he's black and he's running for Congress. Alex Stovall told Conradson earlier this year that his previous job was with Consumer Cellular, where he answered phone calls but was fired due to discrimination. At a Scottsdale restaurant, Stovall also told Conradson that he didn't like how people were looking at him and that black people don't belong in Scottsdale, Arizona. This is a black fake Republican. It was clear that he held liberal views on race, despite how he was presenting himself. He's used campaign funds to travel around the country, seeking endorsements and photo ops with prominent politicians. He once told Conradson that he was using campaign funds to buy suits and other fancy items. His campaign does not appear to be truly a real campaign. It's unclear how he's currently living with no job. He's living off the campaign. Project Veritas whistleblowers did undercover research and discovered that his campaign is in fact based on lies. They have him saying the Republican Party is disgusting to me, the things they're doing should be criminal, they should all be thrown in prison. It goes on and on. James O'Keefe has a video out about this. I'll just read you the transcript from the video. James O'Keefe says in the intro, meet Alex Stovall, Arizona Republican candidate for U.S. Congress. An insider with his campaign brought his comments many of his voters and those in the Republican Party will find troubling. From America First messaging to issues have race, big business, tax incentives, and support for completing the border wall, Alex seems to send mixed messages, saying one thing in private and telling voters in the media something different in public. So he's a liberal BLMer running in Arizona for Congress as a Republican. There's going to be a lot of fake Republicans like this. And when there's a Republican who is a minority, black, Hispanic, especially black, a lot of conservatives go nuts. How do you think little Marco Rubio became a United States Senator? When Barack Obama became president, the Republicans all of a sudden wanted to have blacks and Hispanics fill up high-level positions so they can say, we're not racist. And a lot of people, little Marco is one of them, got elevated beyond where they should be. Now we're stuck with them because of that. But there's a lot of fake MAGA and fake Republicans that are going to be running all over this country. So you have to be very careful. You can't, just because someone says they're MAGA or a Republican, do not believe them, especially if they're a minority. Look into them. Don't be fooled. I've seen this happen for many years, even before Trump came down the escalator. And there's what they're talking about here in the Gateway Pundit, there are people who have careers running for offices that they never think they'll win, but there's big money to be made with political campaigns. I've seen this happen with people over the years. So this is something, regardless of what your personal feelings are, only support people that Trump supports. Be very careful. Do not be fooled. All right, our number, toll-free, 1-888-GO-KANE, 1-888-465-2631. Good morning, you're on the radio. What's your name?
Yeah, good morning.
Oh, hey, Richie.
You know, real quick about yesterday, I'm glad that, you know, you had Al call that said that he was the reason that, you know, he's the best caller you got, and he's the reason.
People only, he said, Alan Coral Springs said people only listen to this program to hear his calls, yes.
Right, I'm glad you offset it with Bill O'Reilly, somebody in the same league as Al from Carlson.
Oh, yes. By the way, I know this is a little bragging, but you know, we had Bill O'Reilly on the show at 8:30 yesterday morning, and that happened. Steve and I did not reach out to them. Bill O'Reilly called me on Black Friday. I was contacted by Bill O'Reilly, and I thought at first I was being punked. So they actually reached out to us, which was pretty cool.
Mark Meadows has a lot to do with that. I think so. And the fact of the matter is that your show is getting very credible, and one day
getting credible. So we're not credible yet, but we're getting credible.
From the big man one day,
Well, I had Mark Meadows on my podcast a few weeks back, and if you go back and listen to that interview, you know, I have some contacts. You know, I had Peter Navarro on right before that, and then Mark Meadows, and that was not a coincidence. We have some contacts, and Mark Meadows told me on that interview, during the interview on the show, that he was going to speak to President Trump about me that very day. And the next thing I know, I get a phone call from Bill O'Reilly. How do these people have my cell phone? I don't know.
Here's the other deal. I listened to Dr. Oz the other day. Dr. Oz says this is outrageous what they're trying to do to him, The View, and everything else. He was on, I think, Laura, or I think Laura. Asked him point blank about the Second Amendment. He says, I own guns. I am 150% pro Second Amendment. I own guns. They're trying to trash me. He says, I believe strongly in the Second Amendment. And as a matter of fact, you would think you listen to the guy is lovely.
Well, there's I like Dr. Oz, but I'm hearing a lot of conflicting reporting about him. And well, Jack Posobiec is tweeting stuff out about Dr. Oz.
Jack made a mistake with this one. He says he owns guns. He's been a rabid gun guy.
But you know what? I'll slow you down there. I don't know, okay? Because Dr. Oz is new on the political scene. So to me, he's an unknown at this point. Although during the height of the pandemic, he was on Fox every day giving his expert opinions as a physician. And I thought he was spot on with that. Dr. Oz needs to clarify very publicly his current and past positions on all of these issues, because he's really being trashed by, well, he did a show that I've seen the clip of, and I've only seen a clip of it, not the whole thing, so I didn't hear the whole context. It immediately was circulated by people I respect, like Jack Posobiec, on social media, about him supporting being able to take those red flag laws to take people's guns away, and that freaks people out. So and Joe Biden, when he was running against Obama before Obama was the nominee and he was partnered up with him, was there's a quote I used to play it on the air back in those days of Joe Biden said, if Barack Obama tries to take my Beretta, he's going to have a problem. So just because someone owns guns doesn't mean they're pro-Second Amendment as a member of government.
Yeah, but he's a lifetime. Joe Biden's been lying for 40-something years.
Yeah.
Lying, and Dr. Oz is new, and they're trying to trash him.
Well, he's got to get out there. Dr. Oz has to clarify his current positions and these past inconsistencies and set the record straight. And listen, Ronald Reagan and Donald Trump used to be Democrats at one point, so it's not, so if he had liberal views in the past as being alleged, that's possibly okay. If he has a history since then of he needs to clarify. We got to be careful. We don't want to support a rhino just because he's a celebrity doctor that we like.
I agree with you. And now the other thing, Newsmax. You hear what reporter went to Newsmax?
Yeah, James Rosen.
But I'm going to say this to you. I like One American News. I like the lady that's on at 8 o'clock at night, 9 o'clock at night, opposite Sean Hannity, and I forgot her name. The blonde. She's excellent, man. I mean,
on One American News. I don't have One American News anymore, so I don't know. On my cable system, so I don't know.
Well, and she was the one that was terminally ill, and because of Trump, he saved her life with one of those right to try drugs. She's a beautiful young lady. She's what the heck's her name? Well, next time I think of her name, I'll
yeah, I don't know. Okay.
Interview her.
Yeah, and one thing, okay, I just mentioned, somebody mentioned this in the chat. Dr. Oz is Muslim. I believe he was in the Turkish army in his youth, but they may require that over there. I don't know. And so when you have someone that's a celebrity that people like, and he checks off a minority box, Muslim, a lot of conservatives will immediately jump on the Dr. Oz. And I'm not saying Dr. Oz is a bad guy, but he's an unknown at this point. He's an unknown.
At this point. So I guess you're right. If Trump endorses him, go for it. But, Trump's been fooled in the past, too. You know that.
Well, no one's perfect. Trump is as close as possible.
Actually admitted that.
So what do you think? I was talking at the top, Richie, though, about Hillary Clinton coming out of the Chappaqua. Yeah.
Deal with her. She is disqualified as far as I'm concerned because she, with her phony lies about the Trump and ruined his presidency for 4 years. They went after him all on her lie, her big lie. She was in back of all that, and she will never be forgiven.
Yeah, exactly. The fake dossier that she paid for. I mean, there is nothing in Hillary Clinton's background that is good. It is all conniving, criminality, and scumminess. I mean, there's nothing. She doesn't have one redeeming quality.
No, she is one of the most disgusting human beings that could face the earth, and she was the sorest loser of all, and she just is obnoxious. I just can't.
If Hillary Clinton, I'll tell you, Hillary Clinton missed the one opportunity she had at becoming president, and that was if she would have left Bill Clinton during all the scandals, sex scandals. If she would have divorced Bill Clinton and went out on her own and said enough of this crap, women would respect that. But not only did she put up with this scummy guy, she did everything she could to destroy the lives of Bill Clinton's victims. And then everything she did after that, whether it was Benghazi, the dossier, the emails, the servers, and all of that, there's not one positive thing about her.
Yeah, she's got two things against her, okay? She's got the thing that she said that half, and they said this cost the election, half of America is deplorable.
Chris Stevens was a friend of hers, and she let him die. A friend of hers that she personally knew. So how can you try? And I really will throw this out if we have any Democrats out there. Tell me one redeeming quality of Hillary Clinton's. I can't think of one. And I met her once. I was in her presence twice, but I actually met her once. And she is not pleasant. She is not nice. She is a nasty, nasty person.
I'll get into something real quick. You remember we talked about your wife giving you permission, and I sort of you have to ask permission. Okay, Hillary Clinton knew that her husband, and still to this day is running around on her probably, and accepted this for power. Tells me I don't want a woman like this. She's weak when it.
And look, and what she did with her, with her allowing Bill Clinton to do what it is that he did. Look at the impact that's had on on Chelsea. She put her own child through a lifetime of that for personal gain. She's a very twisted, sick woman, and she does not have one redeeming quality about her. All right, Richie, I got to run. I'm already late for the break. 37 minutes after. We'll be right back.
Greg here. Conservative Doug called me up live on the air to tell me about his experience at Friendly Tire.
I took both tires in the back of my Infiniti. I called them up, and I always check prices first. Half the price of everybody else.
Half the price? Half the price at Friendly Tire. Wow.
Half the price, and not only that, his tires, which the tires I was looking at, had any mileage guarantee. His is 60,000 mile warranty. So
wow.
They're not only half the price, they're twice as good.
So you're a repeat customer over there at Friendly Tire. You bought new tires, right? So you bought new tires, because they also sell used tires, starting at just $30 for most sizes. But you bought new tires, and they were half the price at Friendly Tire than at the other tire shops around town. That is phenomenal, and came with a $60,000
Steve Kane Show.
on the tires. That's great. And of course, Friendly Tire,
Steve Kane.
they never
Not yet.
out the tire, balance the
Hold
tire,
on.
dispose of your old tires. The price that they give you are out the door and on the road. And
Rick, everybody should go there. I don't know how anybody can buy tires anyplace else. This guy is the best prices.
That's right. That's right. Listen, give Friendly Mike at Friendly Tire a call. His number, 954-977-9445. He'll give you a quote right over the phone, 954-977-9445. Online, friendlytire.net, or you can just stop right in. The address is listed at stevekaneshow.com. 5415 Northwest 15th Street in Margate, and that's just a little north of Coconut Creek Parkway on the east side of 441 State Road 7. Well, Conservative Doug, thanks so much, and I'm glad you got such a great deal on your tires at Friendly Tire in Margate. When you need drug or STD testing, you want to keep it private. After all, that's no one's business but yours. At Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs, they guarantee the lowest prices on all of their thousands of tests, and all of their testing is completely confidential. Drug and STD testing start at just $49. Drug testing results are available on the spot. No appointment necessary, no doctor's order or prescription, and be in and out in 15 minutes or less. If you have any questions, call Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs, 954-906-5983.
Wesley, $5 super chat. Everyone thank Wesley. Another point about Hillary, she will increase the ongoing coup against Trump, kick it up several notches. No one will be safe. Oh, yeah. She'd be on a revenge tour. All right, 20 minutes before 7. I'm Brian. It's Thursday morning already. You're listening to, of course, to The Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. On the radio since 1977. Our number toll-free, 1-888-GO-KANE-1. That's 888-465-2631. Good morning. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, this is Mike from Fort Lauderdale. It's funny that commercial came out from Friendly Tire because I'm due to go get a couple tires up there. And I just want to say what an honor it is to be on this incredible show that
Don't you feel a setup?
Following Richie, the bus driver. My goodness.
I feel a setup.
What an honor.
Yes. Well, what'd you call for today?
Just to say, abilities going up, especially with Richie.
Oh, well, that's what's important. As long as I have credibility with Richie, we'll be okay.
That's all that matters.
Isn't it? Richie's approval? Yeah, exactly.
All those guys. I mean, come on. You got Richie's approval. Your aces in my...
He says we're almost... what did he say? He said something, we're almost credible. That was amazing. What an endorsement that was. We're getting credible. We're not credible now. We've never been credible. We're not credible yet, but we're getting there. That was, I really appreciate that, Richie.
I would use that. I would cut that tape and use that as a promo.
Oh, yeah. Hey, all right, take care. Take care. Tell Friendly Mike I said hi, all right? Take care. Bill O'Reilly on the show yesterday dropped some big news when we had Bill O'Reilly on the show. He said Trump is amassing a war chest, and he has not announced yet because of the regulations that go into that with the Elections Commission. And right now he can raise all that money without any of that. I thought that was a huge, a lot of us have said that. Okay, and I know this is when I get to the most annoying thing that people say. Probably shouldn't tell you this, but what bugs me so much is when people say, "Are you surprised?" No surprise there. Many of us, not alone in this, a lot of you and a lot of commentators on TV have said Donald Trump is not announced yet. He's just raising money. If he announces he's under Federal Election Commission regulations, and he wants to put that off as long as he can. The difference between the rest of us saying it is Bill O'Reilly is personal friends with Donald Trump and has a national tour starting with him on Saturday night. So that I take that as him having conversations with President Trump, telling him that. He didn't say it that way because you know how it goes, but that tells us what we need to know. He is our nominee in 2024. Not the presumed nominee, the nominee. We should not even have a primary process. And I'll tell you, I've noticed yet again, Fox News is starting to promote Tulsi Gabbard. Tulsi Gabbard is likable, but she's a successful politician. To be a successful politician, you have to be charming. Bill Clinton and Obama are charming. I don't like them. They're creeps, especially Clinton. But they're charming when they do interviews and are in public. Don't be fooled. And Fox News, they get so excited over Tulsi Gabbard because she's in the National Guard out in Hawaii. And I saw her on the Fox News website in her uniform. Don't be fooled. She is as left-wing as Barack Obama. That's okay. Let her be left-wing out in Hawaii. But Fox News, I was talking earlier that if I were black, I'd be like a household name because black conservatives get elevated. Over at Fox News, they get very excited over anyone who's in the service of any kind, regardless of who's in that uniform, okay? Except Milley. They're wise to Milley, General Milley Vanilli. But Tulsi Gabbard is a snake. Don't trust her. Don't follow her. Don't support her. We don't want her running for anything. And she's very, very good, too, in debates. Tulsi Gabbard is who ran Kamala out of the primary process. Remember, she came into the second debate just to fillet Kamala Harris, and she exposed and humiliated Kamala Harris. I was very impressed with Tulsi Gabbard. So Fox News, back off that. Now, speaking of Fox News, the Fox News Christmas tree arsonist not only is free, he's been set free without bail. New York Post. The arsonist who allegedly torched the Fox News Christmas tree was freed after his arraignment Wednesday night because his charges were not eligible for bail under new liberal reform laws. His name is Craig Tamanaha. He looks Asian. Is he Japanese? He says, "I didn't do it." He told reporters outside Manhattan Criminal Court after being asked about the early morning arson that caused about $500,000 in damage outside the Midtown building that houses Fox News, the Wall Street Journal, and the New York Post. They say here he's a vagrant with a lengthy rap sheet. He went on an incoherent rant outside the courthouse. He denied the arson, hurled obscenities at reporters, and then he asked those same reporters for a cigarette. The moms that want to rape their blanking daughters, they set it on fire, he yelled. Whatever that means. The suspect was charged with a slew of misdemeanor charges, including arson, criminal mischief, reckless endangerment, criminal trespass for allegedly setting ablaze the 50-foot tall tree. The assistant district attorney said at the arraignment that he was not charged with a bail-eligible offense. He's under supervised release. For a judge to set bail, he would have to be charged with at least third-degree felony arson. Under New York law, arson is only a felony if the suspect tries to harm a person or commits a hate crime. Okay. So, what classifies a hate crime? Burning a Christmas tree is a hate crime. A Christmas tree, I know some of my Christian friends will not like this, but, sorry, don't be a snowflake, okay? Regardless of what a Christmas tree is and the origin of Christmas tree and the winter solstice and all this stuff and idol worship and everything, a Christmas tree is a religious symbol symbolizing Christmas, which is the day that Christians have selected to celebrate the birth of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. And it doesn't get any more hate crimey than burning down a Christmas tree. On top of the fact that it's of the 3 cable news networks based in New York City, it is the conservative of them. And there is no way that he randomly burned down that Christmas tree. It's a religious symbol. It should at least be a suspected hate crime based on the conservative ideology of Fox News Channel. And I'll tell you another thing. Burning down a tree like that is a dangerous act beyond what's being portrayed in the media. He could have burned down that whole building. A fire like that gets started, winds are going in the city, flames could jump to a car, to a person, to the building next to it. Setting a fire that large in an area like that could cause all kinds of death and destruction. So it is a hate crime, possibly, based on the politics of Fox News, as well as Christmas trees are about Christmas, Christian holiday. It's possible, a Christian hate crime. I think it's more about the conservative ideology. This guy is dangerous. In fact, he's armed and dangerous. All he needs is a Bic lighter. Think about this. He's an arsonist. He came out and they say hurled obscenities at the reporters and then asked for a cigarette. Did he have his own lighter? Did they give him a lighter? Is he allowed to have? His weapon is a lighter. His gun is a lighter. That's all he needs. Matches, a lighter. And he's still in possession. This guy, it's like giving a gun to a suspected shooter. You mean to tell me that if he would have done the same thing to the CNN tree or the Rockefeller tree over at NBC, that he'd be out with no bail, that it wouldn't be considered some type of dangerous person that would be held at least because of the danger aspect? Are you kidding me? Of course he would, and they'd be right to do it. See, the reason he was set free is because liberals believe that Fox News deserves it. They have Tucker Carlson and Sean Hannity over there. They deserve what they get. He was just reacting to them. That's how they look at it. Fox News, they're not victims. It's their fault that this guy did that. Let's take our last break of the first hour. All right, I'm Brian. You're listening to The Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. We'll be right back after this.
This is Lori Kane, and I want to tell you about Brighton Dental Care. I just had a lot of work done, and I avoided going to the dentist for a lot of years because I was afraid of the cost. But I went to Brighton Dental for my free consultation, which, by the way, he offers to all Steve Kane listeners. I had 2 cavities, I needed a crown on top and a crown on the bottom. If I were a horse, they would have put me down. So I scheduled my appointment for the next Saturday because Brighton Dental has Saturday appointments available, and they saved me a ton of money. And I will be a patient for life. Don't let cost stop you from taking care of your teeth. Brighton Dental gives Steve Kane listeners incredible discounts on all dental procedures, just like they gave me. Prices are so reasonable, you don't have to worry about the cost. So call Brighton Dental today at 954-922-4633. That's 954-922-4633. You can visit them at brightondental.com and tell them Lori Kane sent you.
We've got you covered. AM 1470, FM 95.3, 96.9. South Florida's FM Money Talk Radio Network, WWNN, Pompano Beach.
Hi, Tom Laporta here from Laporta Contracting, Roofing, and Building Restoration. We survived the 2021 hurricane season. Now it's time to get your building envelope ready for the next season. Laporta Contracting installs all types of roofs, from asphalt, clay, and concrete, standing metal seam, flat roofs, and slate tile systems. Our building restoration offers complete envelope protection to include siding, stucco, concrete restoration, impact windows and doors, weatherproofing, and painting. Laporta Contracting.
Julian and Andrea also gave super chats. Thank you. Everyone thank Andrea. Everyone thank Julian. I'm sorry, guys. I was not looking at the chat. I missed your super chats. So thank Andrea. Thank Julian for their super chats.
LaportaContracting.com. Our number is 954-604-4602. That number again is 954-604-4602. And thanks for listening to the Steve Kane Show.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for WWN.
All right, welcome back. Someone said, Jim Lockwood. By the way, Jim Lockwood, you're welcome to call in. You know, everything I say, I'm not here to necessarily be agreed with. If you take issue with me, it's certainly welcome. But Jim Lockwood, he was questioning something I said earlier. He says, we just need to hear whatever Trump says and follow him like a drone. That's the way to do it? LOL. Yes. Yes. Because President Trump has a plan. Drain the Republican swamp, get rid of the rhinos and never Trumpers. You know, when President Trump left the White House, there was talk of him starting a third party. I'm so glad he didn't do it. He wisely chose to take back the Republican Party from these Republican establishment hacks, the Mitt Romneys, the Bushies, and people like that. President Trump has a big picture here. He knows more about all of these people than we do. So yes, follow Trump like a drone, do whatever he tells us to do so far as supporting candidates, even if it seems like that's the wrong candidate because of something they said or did in the past. Yes. He's not always been right, but he has a pretty good track record, I think, better than most. You know? Benedict Arnold was one of George Washington's best friends. Look what happened. So, you know, things happen sometimes. But yeah, exactly. We're in a different era right now. So I'll stand by that statement. Absolutely. Absolutely. 1-888-GO-KANE-1. Good morning. You're on the radio. Good morning. Oh, here we go.
Ryan Craig?
It is. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Yeah,
my name's Julie. I'm calling from Fort Lauderdale.
Julie in Fort Lauderdale. What's up?
I was calling about the Christmas tree, the Fox Christmas tree.
Mm-hmm.
Just curious why it's not a hate crime. Why is that not a hate crime against Christians? Burn down a menorah, wouldn't they be saying that was a hate crime?
Yeah, you know, I wonder, you know, you brought up a good thing about the menorah. Knowing Fox News, I am sure there's a menorah around that Christmas tree somewhere. I wonder if the menorah was damaged. There has to be a menorah. There's no way Fox put up a Christmas tree and doesn't have a menorah around there. Yeah, well, it's what I said, Julie. Liberals believe that the arsonist isn't responsible. Fox News' hate is responsible. Tucker Carlson and Sean Hannity, they're responsible for the fire. They're blaming the victim. It's not a hate crime because Fox News brought this upon themselves. That's how liberals look at it.
Yeah, that's what they...
All right, take care. Hey, that's a good question to ask, though. Was a menorah damaged? Uh-oh. Is that what it takes to get a hate crime charge coming? You know, I knew that guy was going to get out without bail. You know, he's got some... He should have at least been held for a mental evaluation. Shouldn't he? I mean, look at this guy. He climbed the tree, lit it on fire. He came out, barked at reporters. He's obviously got a screw loose, and they let him go with his weapon, a lighter, and a book of matches. My goodness. You know, the world we're in right now, there's a lot of problems going on in this country, but one of them is the Democrats' open endorsement of criminal behavior. Right? So they're blaming Fox News for the arson attack. The Democrat mayor of Chicago, Lightfoot, Beetlejuice, she's blaming retailers for the smash and grabs against them. You know, and there have always been Democrats who supported criminals. There were Democrats, I remember Democrats were always trying to get the felon vote. There were some Democrats who were even advocating that people incarcerated in American prisons should have their voting rights restored while in prison. So, and after the LA riots, Maxine Waters became famous. Maxine Waters was new in the House of Representatives after the LA riots. She was the one who started calling it the LA Rebellion and introduced a bill in front of Congress to give money to the looters of South Central Los Angeles so that they could buy new clothing after they looted their entire community, right? Remember all this stuff? So there's always been isolated lunatic Democrats who were soft on crime or supported crime, but overall the party, it used to be back in the Clinton era, okay, up until that point, Democrats have always been liberal and had wackadoodle ideas, but they always had a public image as a party of being tough on crime. I mentioned to Steve yesterday, Bill Clinton, when he was running for president the first time and he was still governor, suspended his campaign, flew back to Little Rock just to sign a death warrant on a mentally retarded man on death row. It's true. You know, so they always had a public image of being tough on crime. Now, they're open advocates of supporting criminal activity. And that's very, very dangerous. You may have seen that Black Lives Matter has come out in favor of Jussie Smollett. I'm not going to get into that anymore because it's just stupid, but the reason that Black Lives Matter has come out in favor in support of Jussie Smollett is because they're desperate for a cause. You know, Black Lives Matter support is polling very low, and they've lost the support of the Democrats. We're not in an election year quite yet, and the polls show that public support for BLM is very, very low. The Democrats have cut off Black Lives Matter. They really have. The money's not pouring in anymore, and they got more houses to buy, and a lot of wealthy leaders that want to get paid, so they're getting involved in Jussie Smollett. That's how pathetic they are. Black Lives Matter is so desperate for fundraising that they have to support a guy who has, everyone knows, faked a hate crime. That was the most poorly staged fake hate crime in the history of fake hate crimes. Remember, Jussie Smollett said there were at 2 o'clock in the morning or so, there were 2 white guys in MAGA hats walking the streets of the south side of Chicago. Let me tell you, if you're a white guy and you're walking at 2 in the morning, 2:30 in the morning with MAGA hats on the south side of Chicago, you're going to be a walking dead man for the 30 seconds it takes for someone to kill you. And that after they attacked him, they said, "This is MAGA country? South side of Chicago, MAGA country? Are you kidding me?" You know, and on the face of it, it was so absurd. No one believed it from the get-go. And Black Lives Matter is so pathetically desperate that they've got to get behind and support that? Are you kidding me? It's the first time Black Lives Matter has publicly gotten involved in criminal activity in Chicago, but they're on the wrong side of this one. You know. All right, we're coming up on our top of the hour break at 7 a.m. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show on the radio since 1977. 1 hour down, 2 to go. We'll be right back.
We've got you covered. AM 1470, FM 95.3, 96.9. South Florida's FM Money Talk Radio Network. WWNN, Pompano Beach.
Attention seniors and those who care about them. This is Brian Craig. I'm in studio with Debbie from I Will Advisors. She has an incredible new service to tell you about called I Will Advocates. Debbie, what is I Will Advocates and how are you helping seniors?
Well, Brian, over the past few years of owning a Medicare insurance agency, we've learned that there's a huge need for Medicare advocacy, that a lot of people don't have a child or a spouse that can assist them with their medical needs, and that's where we step in.
There's a lot of things that seniors need help with. Prescriptions, doctor's appointments, things like this. How do you help them with that?
If you're having a problem at the doctor's office, having problems scheduling an appointment in a timely manner, we can step in. If you're having issues at the pharmacy, having problems refilling a prescription, or feel that you're being mischarged for something, you can contact us and we will step in. Even if you're at the hospital and you feel like you're being neglected, we'll be there for you at a touch of a button, whether it's to call the nurse's station or assist in any other way.
So if someone's in the hospital, they feel they're not getting the care that they need, they haven't seen their doctor, they haven't seen their nurse, they can actually call you and you'll contact the hospital for them?
Absolutely. We act as your family. We'll step up, we'll call the nurse's station and ask for some assistance. If we can't get anything done there, we'll go to the higher levels.
Now, this is a service that you're offering. Now, they do not have to be an existing client of I Will Advisors to take advantage of this, right?
Oh, of course not. No, we're here for any Medicare client. We can assist in any way. We don't need to be your insurance agent. We're just here to help you with your medical needs.
This is an incredible opportunity for those of you who are Medicare recipients. Debbie at I Will Advocates will help you with your prescriptions. You'll set up doctor's appointments for them, including the primary care physician and specialist, right?
Of course. We'll assist in anything, helping you find new doctors.
They'll help you with your medical billing. They'll help you with your insurance billing. If you feel you've been billed wrong by your doctor, they'll step in for that and even help you if you're in the hospital. Basically, what you're offering is a concierge service to senior citizens.
That's exactly it.
That's amazing. I've never heard of anything like this before. So how much does this cost?
Well, for just $20 a month, you will have the security of knowing that you have an experienced, compassionate advocate just a touch of a button away.
To learn more, call Debbie's office. The number 954-345-1214. 954-345-1214, or go online. You can sign up online at iwilladvocates.com. That's iwilladvocates.com.
The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group. Veterans and spouses of veterans, you may be entitled to benefits that you are not aware of, including long-term care benefits. Call attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group and find out what benefits are available to you. With offices in Boca Raton and Fort Lauderdale, call toll-free 1-855-FLA-3782. 1-855-FLA-3782.
You are listening to South Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show. Call the show toll-free. Dial 1-888-GO-KANE. 1. That's 1-888-GO-KANE. 1. And now...
All right. Hour number 2 has begun, and, we're just a short couple of weeks away from Christmas, and I got to tell you, there are just incredible deals at MyPillow.com with the promo code KANE at checkout, K-A-N-E. There is something for everyone on your gift-giving list at MyPillow.com. And the prices are out of this world low, especially with the promo code KANE. Now, if you go to MyPillow.com, click on the radio listener specials, using the promo code KANE, you can take advantage of all the specials I'm talking about. But whatever special you see at MyPillow.com, no matter what it says, you can take advantage of with the promo code KANE at checkout, K-A-N-E. But I want to talk first here about the MyPillow My Slippers. I have the MyPillow My Slippers. They come in multiple styles for men and women and many different colors. I have the tan moccasin slippers. I got Steve a pair for Christmas. Spoiled it a little bit so we can make it a part of the message. But they are the most comfortable slipper I've ever owned. In fact, calling the MyPillow slippers does a bit of a disservice because Mike Lindell has designed them for all-day wear, and I wear mine all over town. And with the promo code KANE at checkout, 40% off the MyPillow My Slippers. It's an incredible deal. 40% off the MyPillow My Slippers. The 6-piece MyPillow towel set, they come in 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 colors. And I have the MyPillow towels. They are the most perfect advanced towel I've ever seen. It's like space-age technology. They work like a towel is supposed to work. Dries you off. Absorbs all the water. And it's not soaking wet when you're done using it. They're unbelievable. The regular price is $110 for the MyPillow 6-piece towel set. With the promo code KANE at checkout, just $39.99. The MyPillows, regular price, $69.98. With the promo code KANE, $50 off. Just $19.98 for the MyPillow. These all make great Christmas gifts. They also have Sleepwear for both men and women, 30% off with the promo code Kane. The MyPillow bathrobe, my wife and I each have MyPillow bathrobes. These make great gifts for your employees, for your spouse, for anyone on your gift-giving list. The MyPillow bathrobes, 30% off with the promo code Kane at checkout, K-A-N-E. The MyPillow 100% Giza Cotton Dream Sheets, buy one set, get a second set free. I sleep on these sheets with the promo code Kane. And this incredible deal that is not going to be around after Christmas, the 50% off the 3-inch MyPillow mattress topper. Oh my goodness. The MyPillow mattress topper will change your life. Now this is 50% off the 3-inch mattress topper, which is the thickest mattress topper that Mike Lindell makes. They offered this for the Black Friday, Cyber Monday weekend, and I asked them if they could expand this for the holiday shopping season for our listeners, and they did it. So take advantage of this. It comes in a great package, perfect for wrapping. And, you know, if you have somebody that's out of town, you can have these great gifts shipped directly to the recipient, too, you know. 50% off the MyPillow 3-inch mattress topper, but you've got to use the promo code Kane at checkout, K-A-N-E. You can also order by phone, 1-800-716-4879. 1-800-716-4879, promo code Kane. All right, so Joe Biden put together a commission to research court packing. Remember, one of the first things that Biden talked about was court packing, the Supreme Court. That means adding justices, which is, even Ruth Bader Ginsburg was opposed to that one and had talked about it in the past, and she was very specific about it. The Constitution does not state how many justices should be on the court, and the number has changed over the years, but not for like 100 years. Okay? And President Roosevelt, even as popular as President Roosevelt, I'm not talking about the great Teddy, we're talking about the racist Franklin Roosevelt, he tried to add justices to the Supreme Court so that, and of course he would appoint them because the Supreme Court was tossing out the New Deal. And he failed. And it has been established, 9 justices, that's it. But Biden's commission that he commissioned to study adding members to the Supreme Court of the United States came back with no position, yay or nay. Isn't that something? Very strange. They came back with no position. I think they're still planning on doing it. You know, one thing we've seen, the Democrats see right now, they have a short timeline to accomplish their agenda. And rights, freedoms, they don't care about. You know, Fauci's talking about, sometimes you gotta suspend individual will, tough times. Tough times. See, you've got to understand how liberals, Democrats, view conservatives. They think we're Nazis. That's why the Fox News Christmas tree arsonist is free without bail. It's not a hate crime. That's insanity. Of course it's a hate crime. Christmas tree is a religious symbol. I know a lot of Christians don't agree with that, but it is. They view the justices that President Trump put on that court as fascist, as Nazis. So the only way that you can combat Nazism is to add other members to the Supreme Court. And it's not beyond them to do it. And I'm telling you, Kamala Harris is angling for a spot on the Supreme Court. People say, well, there's not a vacancy. Well, Biden could create a vacancy or 2 or 3. That's what they're talking about doing. And the Democrats are desperate for an election issue. If he did this and then the Republicans of course, would challenge it, and it would be pretty outrageous, Democrats in this country, Democrat voters would support that. Democrat voters believe you have to go beyond the democratic process to fight the Nazi fascist of MAGA. That's how they think. Pelosi said yesterday, I will never forget the 45th president for leading an insurrection, she said yesterday. They believe that the Republican Party, that MAGA is an insurrectionist political movement, and the only way to stop it is to go and suspend our rights, and that would be packing a Supreme Court to make it a rubber stamp. Do not put it past them. Now, I want to throw something out to you guys, and I've got a dilemma. And to those of you that aren't Christians, this won't sound like much of a dilemma, but it is. And I've had similar dilemmas in the past. Okay, there was when we long before YouTube was around, we had on cable access television, we had a Steve Kane television show. And it was a really good show. I have all those shows on, it's so long ago, I have all those shows on VHS tape and stored away at my house. And it was the Steve Kane television show that we did on cable access television was a wild show. It was probably one of the more outrageous shows ever in the history of cable access, and there's been, now I wouldn't say the most outrageous because, you know, they had Midnight Blue up in New York. We weren't Midnight Blue, but we were doing things you wouldn't believe we were doing. And one thing we did, and I've got a dilemma that I'll tell you about in a minute, but one thing we did on that show once, we had a show talking about abortion. We had a pro-life Christian activist debating a attorney who was an attorney for Planned Parenthood. And what we did was a very incredible visual. There was a pro-life organization here in South Florida that had in their possession, in a jar of formaldehyde, medically sealed, an unborn baby that was aborted, that they called Baby Precious, and was in a jar. And they loaned us this aborted baby in a jar of formaldehyde for the TV show. And we hid I still have this show on tape. It was insane. We hid the baby in the bottle during the debate, and Steve led the attorney for Planned Parenthood down a garden path and then revealed the aborted baby in the jar. And of course we had set this up prior, so there was a camera doing a close-up. It was very powerful. It was very dramatic on television, and you could hear a pin drop in the television studio when that moment happened. And it was crazy, and the attorney for Planned Parenthood didn't know what to say. And it was very dramatic. Well, after the show was over, the pro-life group, they went defunct, and I couldn't track them down. And I had this baby. For several years, I had this baby, and I didn't know what to do with the baby. And I had the baby at home. And it was, my wife didn't like it, I didn't like it, what do you do? And I talked about it on the air once or twice with Steve, and my wife, and this was before my daughter was born. Then my daughter was born, and we were moving to the house we're currently in now. And my wife said, "We're not taking that baby with us. You got to figure out something." And I didn't know what to do. And Steve was on vacation, and we had Pastor Bob Coy of Calvary Chapel, who's many years later, ran into some scandals. Some of you may know. He was filling in for Steve. And what happened with that show is liberal callers that you never heard call the show called Pastor Bob Coy to try to discredit us with Pastor Bob Coy. They'd call, "Do you know that Steve Kane has serial killer art?" Things like this. And then someone called and said, "Pastor Coy, do you know that Brian has a dead baby at home in this, and Pastor Coy's like, "What?" And I explained. He's like, "Oh, okay." And I said, "Yeah." I said, "Pastor Coy, I've got the baby, I don't know what to do." So one of our listeners called and arranged for a local Catholic church to have a funeral for Baby Precious. And I gave Baby Precious, is what her name was. I gave Baby Precious to a local Catholic church, and a Catholic priest gave baby Precious a proper Catholic funeral. And finally, you know, and it was not an easy thing. Now, I have another dilemma. I was telling my wife about this last night. That doesn't rise quite to that level, but I don't know what to do about it. I've had this in my closet, I've had in my garage. The baby was in the closet. I have a nativity scene that I've had for many years in my garage, and it was one of those classic like nativity scenes from the 70s that are plastic with the lights inside, right? It's baby Jesus, right? Joseph and Mary, and it's broken. The plastic broke. I was storing it in the garage. Something fell. The plastic broke, and Joseph is got a hole in him. And I've had this in my garage in a big box because it's a big nativity scene. I've had this broken nativity scene in my garage in this massive box for years. And it takes up a lot of room. And I was telling my wife, I can't, you know, because I'm organizing the garage. I can't get myself to throw out the nativity scene. So what do you do with a broken nativity? I can't throw it away. I can't put it out for the garbage man to take. I'm asking this question. What would you do with a broken nativity scene? What would you do? Would you keep it like I'm doing it? It's unrepairable. It's in splinter-like pieces in a box. And it's beyond repair. It's beyond modification. It's just splinters. But I feel like if I put it out like on bulk trash day, if I put it out for the garbage man, that just doesn't seem right to me. So, you know, I'm not, if you want to call me off the air or contact me or on the, whatever, I don't know. What do you do with a broken nativity scene? I don't know. Like if you have an old flag, you know, you burn it. There's things you can do with flags. If you have old medication, you can take it to the drugstore. They'll dispose of it for you. I mean, there's things, but what do you do with a broken nativity scene? I don't know. I'm not going to put it out on the curb for the garbage man. There's just no way. All right, let's take our break. 18 minutes after the hour. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. We'll be right back after this.
Craig here. When it comes to auto repair, you want a garage that you can trust. Someone that will only do work on your car when your car needs work. Introducing Champagne Automotive in Boca Raton, the latest sponsor of the Steve Kane Radio Show. Tom called in on the radio to tell us about his experience with Champagne Automotive.
Hi, this is Tom from Tamarack.
Hey, Tom from Tamarack, what's up?
Hey, I live in Western Tamarack. I said, let me take a drive up there. Well, I was almost blown over how friendly, honest, old school these people are.
Old school, that's really the term that really describes it.
But let me tell you, the guy I gone to previously won $800. He said, well, you need to change your power steering fluid. And Ed, the owner, put the car up in the lift, pulled the wheels, because you don't need brakes. And I about fell over.
Wow, well, tell me the end of the story. You got me hooked.
So it wasn't that your vehicle was misdiagnosed at the other place. You were dealing with a crook.
Oh, absolutely. This guy wanted to sell me everything but a washing machine. I don't want that.
Now, this is our new sponsor. We have wanted for a long time to have an auto repair shop. When it comes to auto repair, that is the most difficult category for us to find as an advertiser, because most are like this guy you were dealing with the other day over in Tamarack, the crooks. And we found Champagne Automotive. Now, Champagne Automotive, they're in Boca off Spanish River Boulevard, immediately west of Dixie Highway. The number is 561-245-8101. 561-245-8101.
Brian Craig here. Advertising on the Steve Kane Show works. This is Scott, one of our sponsors from Cut My Kilowatts, talking about his experience advertising on the Steve Kane Radio Show.
Hey, Scott, how are you?
I am doing great, and Brian, I gotta tell you, I am on 3 radio stations, and you guys are doing better than any of the other 2.
That's amazing.
Getting me new clients. It's amazing. It's been amazing. We did a lady from your show yesterday, and she wants to come in there tomorrow morning with us to tell everybody about it. And so we did her home yesterday, and then a gentleman, Darcy, just called in today and booked an appointment for next Friday. So it's been going wonderful. You've just gone above and beyond my wildest expense. For all the great help with getting you the...
Well, that's what we like to hear. You hear that, guys? He's advertising on 3 radio stations, and we're doing better for him than the other ones. That's right. That's the Steve Kane Show right here. That makes me feel good. Oh, man.
Increase your company's business. Advertise on Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show. Call me directly or Steve Kane, 888-465-2631. Leave a message, and I'll get back to you. 888-465-2631. And we'll be hearing about you and your business on The Steve Kane Show.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search.
All right, 21 minutes after the hour. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show on the radio since 1977. I can see the sun coming out over the beach in Boca right now outside our window at the studio. This is, what the media are all about and what the Democrats are all about. There was a police-involved shooting. A cop shot a young black man this week, and it hasn't been in the news. Let me just read a little bit to you. Why'd you reach for it, kid? Nashville cop shoots Camaro driver, age 20, then asks why he went for the gun on the dashboard. Rod Reed, age 20, was filmed being shot from the body cam by Nashville school resource officer Byron Bolter after crashing his Camaro into a Nissan Altima. Metropolitan Nashville Police said surveillance from a nearby business showed Reed driving his Camaro erratically before striking the Altima. So he was shot by a cop, black kid shot by a cop. Now he lived, and he's under arrest, and you haven't seen it in the news. Why? Because the cop is black too. Cop's black, person he shot's black, no news here. No news to see here. The liberal bias in the media is so deeply ingrained in them, they don't even realize what they're doing. You understand that, right? They don't even realize it. To them, they see that story and boom, there's nothing. And this story, if they really truly cared about police shootings and how cops shouldn't shoot, this is a perfect one for the news. This is a 2-day-old story. This happened a couple days ago. We're just finding out about it now in print media. The body cam footage with the audio is crystal clear and dramatic. But because the cop is black, nothing to see here, no story. And that's why, when Black Lives Matter, they're against police brutality, they tell you, but they're supporting Jussie Smollett. If the cop was white in Nashville, it'd be a national story. We're in a holiday period time when news can be typically slow and difficult for the media. Although there's a lot of news going on now, but it's a time when they're a little more desperate for news stories in the television media. This has audio and visual, and involves a cop shooting a young black man. Nothing to see here, nothing to gain out of this. Because the news media are not in the business of news. They're about racial division. Racial division is good for ratings. This is not, in their mind, good for ratings. This lady cop that shot the fleeing suspect, when that trial's over, if she's acquitted, oh boy. I want to just, I don't want to get too sidetracked on this, but I do want to mention a couple of things here about Kyle Rittenhouse, because he's continuing to do some interviews. He did an interview with Steven Crowder, who, for those of you who don't know, he's an online conservative, Steven Crowder. He interviewed Kyle Rittenhouse and was really got involved with some locker room talk about girls. Kyle Rittenhouse is looking for a girlfriend. Every interview Kyle Rittenhouse does chips away at Kyle Rittenhouse a little bit. Okay? And what's happening is he's talking too much. He should have done that one interview with Tucker, and that should have been it. He's doing interview after interview. And every interview he does takes a little bit. One of the things he has going for him is this boyish routine. This interview we did with Steven Crowder, he didn't do anything that was wrong, but he's chipping away at his credibility. And a lot of these conservative people that are interviewing him are using him for ratings and clicks and views and retweets and everything. His credibility is being destroyed not by the liberal media right now, but by conservative commentators who are using Kyle Rittenhouse for hits, views, clicks, and retweets and likes. And what they're doing is they're making it more difficult for him in his cases against the media, which he'll begin soon. All right, let me give out the number. 1-888-GO-CANE-1. It's a toll-free call. 1-888-465-2631. Good morning. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Hey, Al. What's up, Al?
Hey, listen, I almost flipped the seat of my pants every time you bring up your so-called Catholic faith. There is no way on earth you can be a practicing Christian, Catholic, or anything with the racial, bigoted rhetoric and falsehoods you spew every morning. You don't even know what to do with a nativity set. You're not supposed to be worshiping any graven images anyway. You can't bring yourself to throw away a piece of plastic. You just expose yourself the more you flap your lips.
All right, well, we'll slow down. It's so interesting what, when someone doesn't like you, okay, when someone doesn't like you, it's so interesting to find out how much they dislike you and what they gravitate to justify their emotions. We don't put the nativity scene up and go out in the front yard and worship it. Do you think that's what we do? Hello, is the mic working, or is it just your brain is shut down, Al?
My brain is never shut down with you.
Oh, okay, because I asked a question, I didn't hear a response. I thought maybe your brain overloaded. We don't worship the nativity scene, but it's an image of Jesus, Joseph, and Mary, and I'm not going to throw it out in the garbage.
Throw it out.
No. That tells me I should keep it in the garage, because if Al's telling me to throw it out, I should do the opposite of what Al does.
Yesterday, you went on another one of your bigoted tirades and said that the Christmas tree burner was a black guy.
I didn't say he was black. I said we don't know. And I said the longer we don't see him...
You got a short memory, buddy.
I said the longer we go without seeing him, the more suspect I'll be. And we found out he is a minority. He's Asian.
And Brian, you're so sad. Listen, when your buddy Trump, the idiot, lost.
Oh.
You went on a tirade for a whole year.
He is the greatest president we've ever had, Donald Trump. Absolutely.
You went on.
Oh, now here we go with the fake cell phone problems. Okay, now he's pretending to have cell phone problems so he doesn't have to respond. Good morning, you're on the radio. What's your name?
Good morning, conservative Doug.
Hey, Doug.
Hi. What a call. Anyway, first I'd like to say, very nice to hear that Bill O'Reilly called your show. Fantastic. I thought that was great. And something I mentioned about our great governor. I was at my HOA meeting yesterday, and they raised our prices tremendously. And they're blaming, because Governor DeSantis is going to raise the minimum wage $1, that's causing all kinds of reasons to raise inflation. So I said, wait a minute. Well, first of all, security we're talking about doesn't get minimum wage, so another $1 doesn't affect anything. You guys are just finding contractors that are trying to rob us.
Mm.
This is what we're up against. The excuse they're going to be coming up with.
Is Ron DeSantis raising? I didn't know Ron DeSantis is raising the minimum wage in Florida. He's doing that. He's advocating to do that. I haven't seen that.
Yeah, he did. He signed it that they're going to go up to $15 by 2006.
The minimum wage is going to be $15 an hour in Florida. What's the current minimum wage?
I have no idea. Sorry, but
what? I gotta look that up. I've not heard that.
In 2006, It'll go up.
2006? That's 15 years ago. 2006 was 15 years ago.
I'm sorry. 2000.
Am I getting a call from the past? What year is it? Are you calling me from the past?
2026, excuse me. It's 2006, 2026. Okay, anyhow, it's $1 a year supposedly going up. Now, I didn't verify if this is what they were saying. The whole point is, even if it goes up...
I found an article from September, okay? Minimum wage workers in Florida will get a voter-approved pay boost this week. This is an article from September 27th. While about 24 new laws kick in, including a regulatory framework for electronic... Okay. 60% of voters approved a constitutional amendment in November. The state's minimum wage will go from $8.65 an hour, which is about $18,000 a year for a full-time minimum wage earner, to $10 an hour. This was back in September, with the rate for tipped workers moving from $5.63 to $6.98. Under the state constitutional amendment, the rate will increase each year until reaching $15 an hour on September 30th, 2026. So no, that was on the ballot. That's not Ron DeSantis passing a law. That was a ballot initiative that voters in Florida voted for. I don't remember voting for or against that because all I was concerned about was Trump that day, and Laura Loomer. I voted for Laura Loomer, so I don't know how I voted on that. Honestly, I think I might have voted against that one because I'm not a minimum wage supporter. But the people telling you that Ron DeSantis raised the minimum wage, that is incorrect. It was voters raised the minimum. So your liberal HOA people, I promise you, they voted to raise it. So it's their fault.
For sure, that's for sure. And I know that's what they're going to be pulling when Ron DeSantis has to rerun, which I think he's going to win by a landslide anyway.
Oh yeah.
They're going to be using that against them. Oh, look, they...
But no, it wasn't Ron DeSantis. It was them. It was the Democrats.
Of course. But you know.
Most Republicans, I promise you, voted against increasing the minimum wage. I never earned minimum wage, even when I was in high school. When I got my first paying job, where I was on the clock as opposed to mowing lawns. Minimum wage was $3.35 an hour, $3.35, and my first paying job on the books was $3.65 an hour. I've never earned minimum wage, and very few people ever do. So no, that's not DeSantis.
No, I know for sure, but you know how they're going to play it. They're going to.
Well, now you have new information. Just do a Google search and take the article in.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear. I'm hoping that. Bill O'Reilly will get the president to call you. I think you do a call.
Yeah, we're due a call. Yeah, that'd be interesting. I'd be nervous.
Yeah, I'm sure you would.
Yeah.
Just wondering if he's going to follow one of your liberal callers. It's going to be really interesting.
If President Trump came on the show, Steve and I probably would have a couple of questions ourselves, and we probably wouldn't waste time with our callers, especially the liberal callers. But you're a strange guy. You're a strange guy, Doug, and because 90% of your calls, maybe even more, 90% of your calls tell a story of you having an interaction with a Democrat the day before. So I don't know if you make up these stories or if you just go. Well, I don't know why you're interacting with so many Democrats all the time.
Well, unfortunately, yesterday was a meeting for the HOA fees, which
did the HOA meet in person or did they do it on Zoom? Yeah, my HOA, they hate meetings, so now they're done on Zoom so they can avoid facing the residents in person. So HOAs in Florida will probably be on Zoom forever. HOA meetings, if you've never been to an HOA meeting in Florida in person, go. Don't speak. They'll arrest you. They bring police there to arrest you if you speak out of turn at an HOA meeting. But they're a lot of fun to watch. Just don't speak.
What is that to my community?
Oh, no. I have seen what I've seen at HOA meetings. It's like 1933 Germany, the way HOA meetings are run in Florida. And I think most people agree with that. If you've ever been to one, don't speak, don't talk, don't get involved, don't run for the board either. That'll get you in trouble. Hey, thanks for the call. All right, we'll take our break for the bottom of the hour. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show on the radio since 1977. If you're on hold, stand by. Back with your calls after this.
We all know how beautiful and lush Florida is, with the abundance of trees and bushes. But if you want your home to look great, all of that greenery needs to be trimmed.
Steve Kane Show.
So when it comes to trimming your trees, you want a pro, one who knows how to cut,
Yeah, hold on.
to cut, and the difference in each type of tree. And the best in South Florida are the professionals at GoPro Professional Property Care. With over 50 years of experience in South Florida, they know what's best for your trees and how to make your home look spectacular. With all the electrical wiring around, tree trimming is too dangerous to do yourself and requires a professional that you will not find by hiring just some guy with a truck who knocks on your front door. In fact, tree trimming is so much more than just cutting branches. It's about maintenance and keeping your trees healthy and having company. GoPro Professional Property Care is licensed and insured, available 24/7 for any tree emergency. GoPro does it all too: tree trimming, pruning, tree removal, stump grinding, root removal, lawn care, and installation. And that's just the start of what they do. Call Nathan. He's Steve Kane's personal tree trimmer, and now he wants to work with you. 954-680-7739. He's also available for condos, HOAs, and businesses. 954-680-7739.
Wookiees, $5 super chat. Everyone thank Wookiees. Brian, if you have a picture of the figure, maybe a 3D printed replacement. Seems a little involved. I think the best advice I got was donate it and then let it be somebody else's problem. All right, 38 minutes after the hour. By the way, if you want to go and see President Trump with Bill O'Reilly, there's 2 spots in Florida. Saturday is here in Sunrise at the Panther Arena by the Sawgrass Mills Mall. And then Sunday, Bill O'Reilly and President Trump are going to be in Orlando. Go to Ticketmaster.com, look up Bill O'Reilly, it'll pop right up. Okay? Ticketmaster.com and get your tickets to either the Sunrise event or the Orlando event if you're up closer to Orlando. All right? Okay, let's go back to the phones. 39 minutes after the hour. It's the Steve Kane Show. I'm Brian. 1-888-GO-KANE-1. That's our number. Good morning. You're on the radio. What's your name?
Brian, it's Kelly from Cali.
Okay.
We love your show, Brian. We watch it every morning.
I feel a setup coming. Well, thank you.
We do everything that Brian wants us to do.
Oh. Yeah. Yeah. No. And I've never told anybody to do any of that. All right. Now we got to dump. Hitting the eggnog a little early. You know, I'm not even going to comment. And you guys aren't going to hear what was at the end. I'm sorry. Not even on YouTube. Not even on YouTube or the online listeners heard what was said at the end. As soon as I took that call, I told everybody off the air in the YouTube live chat, I said, watch, I spot a setup here. And sure enough. All right. 1-888-GO-KANE-1. That's our number. It is a toll-free call. 1-888-465-2631. You know, and Charlottesville, you may have seen this. They're melting down the statue of Robert E. Lee. Let's see, what are they going to do with it? It says here, the statue of Confederate General Robert E. Lee that once provoked a deadly weekend of violence in Charlottesville will be melted down and turned into a new piece of public artwork following a vote by city lawmakers early Tuesday. It doesn't say what they're going to turn it into, does it? I don't know. They're gonna turn it into something. I don't know what they're gonna turn it into. You know, this is the deal with that. All right, maybe that's what I should do with my nativity. Melt it down but I don't have a melt. I don't know what to do with that. This statue that they're melting down of General Lee. Anytime, and there have been many articles about this melting down of the statue of Robert E. Lee. I'm not a supporter of Robert E. Lee. He was an insurrectionist, okay, against the United States government. And he led an armed insurrection against the United States government. I'm not a supporter of Robert E. Lee. Okay, now some of you may be, but I'm not. Anytime you see a story, no matter what it is, of taking down a statue, renaming a facility, renaming a school, or in this instance, Robert E. Lee, these things are happening not because of the past and everything else. They're melting down the statue of Robert E. Lee because they want to continue to take down references to the fact that these slave-owning, racist, and insurrectionists are Democrats. And the Democrat Party's main agenda behind the scenes, okay, is to wipe out the history of the Democrat Party. Because African Americans in droves were moving towards the Republicans under Donald Trump. There's an article I read yesterday, some new polls coming out that show, now this is amazing, that among registered Hispanic voters, it's evenly split between Republican and Democrat now. It used to be the only Republican Hispanics were a few Cubans playing checkers in Miami. And throughout this country, the Hispanic registered voting population is evenly split between Republican and Democrat. In the state of Florida, for the first time, registered Republicans outnumber registered Democrats for the first time in history, which was a big concern. And that happened because so many people fled their states, came to Florida, and fled the tyranny of Pennsylvania or wherever they were living, and they came here and registered Republican. First time this has ever happened. And the Democrats are trying to get the black vote back. One of the things they're doing, which is a little below the awareness level of most people, are things like melting down the General Lee statue, because blacks in this country were starting to learn, you don't learn this in school, but that all these terrible things that have happened to blacks throughout the history of this country was done to them by Democrats. And when there's a statue in Charlottesville of Robert E. Lee, people go up and they go up to the statue, and what people do now is they don't go up and just read the plaque, they Google. And you Google General Lee, and you know, some kid, he's there with it, he walks up and he Googles on his iPhone General Lee, the Wikipedia comes up, and he reads about General Lee and finds out, oh, he was a Democrat. I didn't know that. I thought the Republicans were General Lee was a, wait a minute, Jefferson Davis was a I did not know. They don't teach you that in school. They don't teach you that in school. So this fake outrage at things like the General Lee statue in Charlottesville and elsewhere is a nationwide effort that the Democrats have been involved in for about 3 years now of rewriting their own history. Okay? To try to win back black voters. It's revisionist history is what they're doing. They're rewriting American history, and all these things need to be up there. You don't want to wipe out your own history, but they need to, because they're losing blacks. They're losing Hispanics. And what the Democrats don't understand is, why are they losing black voters? And it's a very obvious one. It's taken a long time, right? Because I mean, when I was first going to school in the 70s, busing was a big thing then, because the desegregation of the schools was still happening. They passed the laws, but everything was still segregated because people went to schools in their own neighborhood. So part of integrating schools was busing, right? So, and I was bused all over the place. But I mean, and I can remember, this is when I first went to school in Florida. It was in Central Florida, not here in South Florida, and I was in 5th, 6th grade. And everyone, this was really a crazy thing, and that was the Deep South. This was like 1982, Central Florida. You know, things were a little different back then than they are now. It's been a long time, 35 years, 40 years. But I remember I didn't even, it was a different place than where I came from up north. They added some bus routes to my school bus. This was 5th, 6th grade. So it's like 1982, 1983 in Central Florida. And they had to stop by and pick kids up who lived on the sugarcane farms. And they were all black. Everybody else was white on the bus. And then we had these two bus stops at the sugarcane fields in Central Florida. They were black. And the bus driver told us that she didn't want them on the bus. I remember this, just popped in my mind. I hadn't thought about it in a long time, but I remember it clear as day now. She said she didn't even want them on the bus. I didn't even understand such things. But that, and a Democrat, that's how it used to be in Florida. We've moved beyond that. And the reason that the Democrats have lost so many black voters, like they're losing Hispanic voters now, is not because necessarily just of Donald Trump coming down the escalator. It's taken about 50 years after the desegregation of the schools and busing and everything else. It's taken about half a century to have economic equality for minorities and non-minorities in this country. And once people get into the middle class and they start paying taxes, they don't want to support Democrat policies because they work so hard. And they don't want to support freeloading bums. You know, like this guy that burned down the Christmas tree at Fox News yesterday, who's out without bail right now. So they think that they're losing black voters because they don't feel oppressed enough. They're losing black voters because blacks are homeowners in larger numbers than ever before, and are not just middle class, but are rich too. That's why. They don't want to pay high taxes. They don't want to support freeloaders, and they don't support a bunch of liberal social justice welfare programs. That's why. So they can burn down all the statues of all the, and melt down all the Democrat statues like the one of General Lee that they're doing. That's not why they're losing blacks. But because liberal elitists like Joe Biden, who was shocked that there were even black attorneys and accountants a couple months ago, remember that? You know, and black doctors, he doesn't even know, they live segregated lives. Nancy Pelosi and Feinstein and Biden and these, you know, Schumer and these types. They have no understanding of why they're losing black voters. It's not about the statues, okay? All right, 1-888-GO-CANE-1, that's the number. 1-888-465-2631. It's 48 minutes after the hour. We'll take our break and be right back. Don't go anywhere.
Do you think you've come in contact with someone who has coronavirus? Steve Kane's wife Lori did, and she went to any lab test now at Coral Springs to find out if she has coronavirus.
So I came into contact with somebody who tested positive for COVID, and I was scared, and I needed results right away, so I went to any lab test now in Coral Springs. It was great. I didn't want to have to stay in line for 2 hours and have a swab stuck down my nose into my brain. It was very pleasant. I made an appointment. They got me in within the hour. I was out of there within 20 minutes. Thank goodness the test was negative, and I can go back to work tomorrow. They also tested me for the antibodies, and I haven't been exposed. So do what I did. Go over to any lab test now at Coral Springs. They give great rates for Steve Kane listeners, and tell them we sent you.
It's worth 15 minutes of your time to have peace of mind and know that you and your family are safe. Any lab test now of Coral Springs is located at 955 North University Drive on the southeast corner of University and Ramblewood near the Coral Square Mall. You can call them at 954-906-5983. 954-906-5983. Any lab test now of Boca is in the Sandalfoot Plaza where the Western Beef is, south of Palmetto Park Road and north of Hillsborough. Call them at 561-237-5009. 561-237-5009. Make sure you tell them you heard about them on the radio. Brian Craig here. You've heard us talk about the great low prices Friendly Tire has on new tires and used tires. They also do tire repairs. Listen to one of our listeners talk about their experience at Friendly Tire in Margate.
Hey Brian, my name is Mike. Just wanted to call and say thank you. I had a problem with my car. I had a flat tire. It was going down really quick. I'm in Coral Springs. I had to go somewhere close by. They couldn't really fix it. So I remember you guys are talking about Friendly Mike at Friendly Tires. So I said, listen, Mike, I need a couple of tires. I told him my thoughts. He goes, I got them. I go, I'll see you tomorrow. They were really cheap. I go over there, and Mike said, which tires do you want to replace? They look relatively new. I said, they are. I just got a big hole in that one.
Friendly Tire a call right now. We'll give you a quote right over the phone. 954-977-9445. 954-977-9445. Don't waste time going anywhere else. You will never find prices as low as Friendly Tire in Margate.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search.
All right, 9 before 8, Steve will be joining us in the 8 o'clock hour. I'm Brian. It is the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. It's been going on now, I guess, I don't know how long now, but this Maxwell trial, Ghislaine Maxwell. And, you know, the Jeffrey Epstein case, I remember when it was a local case, when he was on trial here locally. And it's this Ghislaine Maxwell, is it Ghislaine? Is that how you say her name? I thought it was Ghislaine. The Maxwell case, obviously she's a pedo groomer and a pedo herself. I mean, it's obvious, right? I mean, no one's disagreeing with that, I guess. And she'll be convicted, and she'll do a long prison sentence. But so many conservatives that I have a lot of respect for have been just obsessing over this Maxwell trial. And for the life of me, I can't understand why that is. I know there's been a lot of big names connected to Jeffrey Epstein, but Bill Clinton's not going to be testifying. And with all the photographs we're seeing, I haven't seen any Bill Clinton photographs. I don't know what conservatives think we're going to get out of this trial. You're going to get a conviction of her, and she'll probably never be free again. But you're not going to get any of these big famous names that you want. To me, it's going nowhere. And I know a lot of people had a lot of hopes in it. Maybe if Epstein was on trial and he was being open and on, he'd be desperate, saying things and everything else. But this Maxwell trial, nothing's going to come of it. I told you that the day that it started. And even still, I see a lot of conservatives going over what happened in the trial every day. That's one I just can't get my interest in. I'm sorry, guys. Good morning. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, Brian.
Yes, you're on the air.
It's 420.
Hey.
I absolutely agree with you with this Jeffrey Epstein trial.
Well, it's not the Epstein trial. Jeffrey Epstein is dead. Jeffrey Epstein's not on trial. His groomer is.
The Ghislaine Maxwell, the same kind of thing, right? There are too many people connected to this trial, and I think she's going to walk.
No, she's not going to walk. She's not going to walk. She's going to be convicted, and she'll go to prison probably forever, for a long time. She's not going to walk. She's not going to walk.
Do you honestly think?
No, I'm being dishonest with you. I don't believe it. I'm just telling you that. Yeah, she's going to be convicted. But even if she's not. I mean, there's nothing is going to come out of it. There's not going to be anything that comes out of this. All these big names and everything that you're hearing, that we've heard for years, none of these people are in any trouble with this. Nothing's going to be proven. None of them are going to face justice. The only person that they're going to trash out of this is Trump, who threw Epstein out of Mar-a-Lago as soon as he found out about him. He flew on his plane once from Palm Beach to New York, not to the island.
I absolutely agree. Trump is getting a bad rap on this. And if you look at how many times the Clintons have flown on that airline. And I also want to bring up Seth Rich, the guy that linked, Hillary to the destruction of the servers. He ended up...
Hey, Janet, hold on. Yeah. But I'm gonna let you run 420. But next time, don't call on the speaker or the Bluetooth. You got to actually hold the phone. Okay, you got to hold the phone when you call. Okay. All right, it's time to check in with Janet Cimarelli, licensed nutrition counselor over at AJ's Natural Wellness Shop in the Festival Marketplace in Pompano with the Morning Health Report. Janet Cimarelli, good morning.
Good morning, Brian. Hi, Steve. Okay, so lots of things going on at AJ's Wellness Shop. So I I just want to tell you, so many nice people have been coming into AJ's and they say, I heard you on the Steve Kane Show. And I said, I'm so happy you joined me coming in. Yeah. And very interesting. I ask them, okay, so what I'm sharing in the morning, it's helpful. And they're saying yes. So I have just a little bit more health support this morning. So just in case people coming into this season, maybe they have sniffles, a full-blown cold, maybe a sore throat. What we are about at AJ's is supporting your good health. And one of the ways you can do that is when you go for a blood test. There are 4 blood tests that I'm going to suggest this morning. And they give you a little bit of insight on how well your body is able to fight off viruses and bacteria, different things that might be going around that you're exposed to. So when you go in for a blood test, ask if you can have a vitamin D level. The range is 30 to 100. You want your vitamin D to be 60 or above. You want to find out what your zinc level is. And if you're not taking zinc, most likely the zinc level might not be sufficient to be supporting your immune system. So test it next time you have a blood test. This is an interesting one. DHEA. That's going to give you a little bit of insight into how your adrenals are functioning. And guess what? It is an indication of aging. The more you support your DHEA and consequently lots of other hormones, but the more you support DHEA, your brain works better, you have more energy. It really does be very supporting of keeping you youthful and full of vitality. And then vitamin C, that's so simple, but again, so many people, when they test their blood levels of vitamin C, not so good. So those are 4 tests that you can be evaluating to see how well your body's functioning and your immune system is able to meet challenges.
Yeah. Now, Janet Cimarelli introduced Steve Kane and me to nutraceuticals for the first time before anyone else ever did, back in 1998 when we first met Janet Cimarelli, and now she has her own shop with her partner Anita, AJ's. Janet is the J, Anita is the A, and AJ's Natural Wellness Shop is in the Festival Marketplace in Pompano. Everyone knows the Festival Marketplace immediately east of the Turnpike on the south side of Sample Road in Pompano. And when you get there, park at the main entrance, head straight back towards the food court. And right before the food court, look to your right, you'll see the information booth, and that's where AJ's is. And Janet is a licensed nutrition counselor available for consultations that are completely free, but they do ask that you make an appointment, and these appointments do fill up. And if you want to call and make an appointment, they open at 10 a.m. You certainly can do that. 954-317-1851. 954-317-1851. Also, they ship anywhere. So if you're out of town or even local and for whatever reason you can't make it into the festival and go to AJ's in person, that's okay. You can also order by phone. And Janet has a radio show on our radio stations, all of them, Tuesdays and Fridays at 10 a.m. Be sure to check that out. All right, Janet Cimarelli, we'll finish out the week tomorrow. All right, take care. All right, it's 8 a.m. We'll take our break for the top 2 hours down, 1 to go. And when we get back, we'll be joined by Steve Kane. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back after this.
We've got you covered. AM 1470, FM 95.3, 96.9. South Florida's FM Money Talk Radio Network. WWNN, Pompano Beach.
Attention seniors and those who care about them. This is Brian Craig. I'm in studio with Debbie from I Will Advisors. She has an incredible new service to tell you about called I Will Advocates. Debbie, what is I Will Advocates and how are you helping seniors?
Well, Brian, over the past few years of owning a Medicare insurance agency, we've learned that there's a huge need for Medicare advocacy, that a lot of people don't have a child or a spouse that can assist them with their medical needs, and that's where we step in.
There's a lot of things that seniors need help with. Prescriptions, doctor's doctor's appointments, things like this. How do you help them with that?
If you're having a problem at the doctor's office, having problems scheduling an appointment in a timely manner, we can step in. If you're having issues at the pharmacy, having problems refilling a prescription, or feel that you're being mischarged for something.
It's not, I'm not saying that big people like Bill Clinton weren't involved with Epstein. I'm just telling you that nothing, by the way, oh, Jacqueline, $20 super sticker, thank you. Everyone thank Jacqueline for that $20 super sticker. It's just none of this is going to come out in trial, and none of these people are going to face justice. And, you know, why isn't, you know, her naming big names? Because, look, she doesn't want to end up like Jeffrey Epstein, you know, Maxwell. And it's just not, unfortunately, it's not going anywhere. Not going anywhere. These big people never face justice. Never. My goodness, they're out there trying to run Hillary Clinton for president again, with all that crap with her husband connected to this, you know? This train that just went by, it's called the Bright Line. Google it, look it up. It's a new commuter train. Eventually it's going to go from Miami to Disney World. It goes to, that train has killed more people than a lot of serial killers. People are always getting run over by that train.
Concierge service to senior citizens.
That's exactly it.
That's amazing. I've never heard of anything like this before. So how much does this cost?
Well, for just $20 a month, you will have the security of knowing that you have an experience the touch of a button away.
To learn more, call Debbie's office. The number 954-345-1214. 954-345-1214, or go online. You can sign up online at iwilladvocates.com. That's iwilladvocates.com.
The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group. Are you concerned with the distribution of your assets at the time?
Yeah, that train's, it just started up again not long ago, and like the first week it ran over somebody.
From Palm Beach Gardens to Coral Gables. Call toll free 1-855-FLA-3782.
I was thinking about taking it and making a vlog, but I'm afraid it'll run over somebody. I'll be stuck on the train all day at the accident site.
Toll free. Dial 1-888-GO-GAIN-1. That's 1-888-GO-GAIN-1. And now, here's...
All right, the third hour has begun. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show. We're joined by Steve. Hey, Steve.
Good morning.
Doing all right. How are you?
I'm doing fine, but the news is getting crazier and crazier and crazier. Yesterday, I thought, you think you've seen it all when they burned down the Fox Christmas tree yesterday, and they captured the guy right away, and I said to myself, wouldn't it be funny? Would it just drive people crazy if they let this guy out with no bail to burn it down again, you know? Like, they wouldn't have the nerve to do that. The forces that be, the powers that be. But sure enough, despite the fact that in my wildest dreams I never would have imagined it, they turned this guy loose, for crying out loud.
Oh, and it got worse than that. When they let him out without bail, he went out and started cussing at the reporters, and then asked them for a cigarette. And he's allowed to have a lighter still, which is what he used to commit $500,000 in damage that could have burned down half the town. Oh, no.
He assigned somebody to follow him?
No.
Even they would be embarrassed if he burned down another street.
No. Well, they did say he's under supervised supervision. I don't know what that means. I guess he's got to check in every once in a while, this homeless guy. No, I don't... I'm shocked, honestly, because it's such a high-profile case. And, yeah.
Now that you're in a shocked state going into the final hour here, how shocked would you be if, in fact, Smollett is acquitted?
You cut out. If Jussie Smollett is acquitted, that would not shock me at all. Would not shock me at all. Nope, would not shock me at all. You got a jury in Chicago, which has got to be Democrats. So no, if he's acquitted, no, wouldn't surprise me.
But I don't know. I know you followed the Trump closely. Yeah, well,
I know a little bit about it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know it's an open and shut case. You know enough to know that it's a farce.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, what they're going for is jury nullification. You know what jury nullification?
No, what's that?
You don't know what jury nullification? I'm shocked. Jury nullification is they're looking to hang the jury.
Oh yeah.
Then if they hang the jury, that the state will choose not to try him again. I'm not sure they're.
I think they're gonna. He pulled a stunt. Jussie Smollett pulled a stunt the other day that was for the jury. I think he attacked the judge for being a racist. The judge was reading back comments of Jussie Smollett, and the N-word was in them, and Jussie Smollett went off on the judge. That was for the jury. That was a performance for the jury. I think the yeah, but Jussie Smollett. I think Jussie Smollett is more likely to be acquitted by the jury than a hung jury in Chicago. Yeah, what would be your guess?
Oh, he's not going to be acquitted. That
really?
Listen. Yesterday at this time,
Chicago
was saying there's no way they're going to cut this guy loose and send him out there to burn down another Christmas tree. First of all, he's lucky that nobody got killed. I mean, that could have been a.
Yeah, I doubt. Yeah, it was like a caller made a good point earlier. The prosecutor said there was no hate crime, and someone called me up and said, "Do you think he would have been set free if he lit a menorah on fire?" And I was thinking, that Fox News has a menorah near that tree. A menorah may have been burned in that fire, because other things caught on fire nearby, and that would fit hate crime.
The hits keep it coming. I mean, it's
well, he's obviously a mental patient. Why are they not at least keeping him for mental health evaluations? He's obviously a mental patient.
New York has reached a state of dysfunction where the simple, most obvious truths mean nothing anymore.
Well, it's what Bill O'Reilly said yesterday. We're lucky to be in Florida. Because he was calling us from New York yesterday. We're lucky to be in Florida, because it's total anarchy in New York right now. I mean, a fire. They say it was $500,000 in damages. You set a fire that big out on the street, that high in New York. The wind's blowing. It's the winter. You could light a lot of things on fire: cars, people, newspaper stands. It was very dangerous what he did, and setting him free without bail would be like setting a guy off that had shot a gun in public. It's very dangerous, and when he came out and he asked for a smoke and he lit a cigarette, none of the reporters said, "Wait a minute, is that the lighter he used to set the tree on fire?" And I've never seen an incident where someone did something so dangerous and potentially deadly that they were set free. This isn't like a shoplifting case. Yeah, and that's a very violent, risky, life-threatening act, arson at that level. That was a big fire, 50-foot tree. I don't think people realize, even seen it on television, how big of if you've never been around a fire that big, the amount of heat that comes off a fire that big, you can't even walk close to it. The heat's so bad. Yeah, that was a big deal what he did.
Just when you think you've heard it all, Hillary Clinton gets up and obviously is throwing her hat into the ring to be the first Democrat to challenge Biden. That's for real when she did that. When she gets up and ready, you see her read her accept.
Oh yeah, the fake tears.
But I mean, that's on top of everything. Just when you think it can't get any worse, it gets worse.
Well, I don't think she's. I'm gonna disagree with you a little bit here. I don't think she's challenging Biden. I think she's working with Biden, and if they're moving to push out Kamala Harris, which we've been talking about the last 2 weeks, not just us, a lot of people have. Maybe they're going to plug Hillary in as vice president if they get rid of Kamala. I could see that and make. Yeah, she's working with Biden. is what I'm telling you. She's working with Biden.
Biden's looking to get thrown out, but obviously Hillary's letting us know she's available.
Oh no, I think this is a coordinated effort because she's got this MasterClass thing, which a lot of celebrities do, but she's definitely planning on. I think she's planning on running in 2024 with Biden's endorsement. I'm telling you. This is, all of a sudden she came out of Chappaqua with this fake crying thing. That's, yeah. 2016. Yeah, she can lose to Trump again. Well, a lot, obviously we don't like Hillary Clinton, but I think people underestimate how many like her. Democrats, especially a lot of women out there, I don't understand it, I don't get it, but a lot of people like Hillary. I don't understand why.
I have learned
Steve Kane
after the last election not to get too certain of anything in politics.
Yeah, that's for sure. And Hillary, that fake crying she did yesterday, she thinks that makes her look sympathetic. She thinks she's a role model for women and young ladies. She thinks she's a feminist icon. She's totally out of touch with reality. Onions? I don't know.
Oh, she got this very, we talk a lot with the Alex, the shooting thing.
No, Alec Baldwin, the killer.
And speculating about he's an actor and what it takes to cry and all that. What she did was a sense memory. She cracked up. Do you know when she cracked up in her speech?
She was talking about her mother.
She knew that if she went into the mother thing, it would evoke the memories and the tears would flow from that. That's what acting is about.
Now, that's what actors do to get crying?
We call it sense memory.
Oh.
You project yourself back into, use your imagination to project yourself back into an event in your past, and you recreate the feelings that happened. And that's one of the ways that actors use to create.
Okay, so she's got some actors. Let's take some calls. Our number is toll free, 1-888-GO-KANE-1. That's 888-465-2631. All right, yeah.
Table. This story might have broken after you went on the air, but did you hear about the UN?
No.
It turns out that the UN is using the money that we give them, that we contribute to the UN, to pay the illegal immigrants to come up here.
Oh, that's nice.
It's a big. It just broke.
No. Yeah, it must have, because I'm not familiar with it. Good.
That out there. That's fair game if you want.
All right, caller, you're on the air. What's your name?
Yes, Jack from Boca.
Steve Kane Show.
Wanted to talk about
Steve Kane Show.
Hillary
hold on.
came out with the speech because they're starting to touch in the Ghislaine Maxwell trial about Bill Clinton. So it's a distraction. Now all of a sudden...
No.
Sometimes a banana is just a banana.
She's trying to divert attention away from that trial.
Why would she do that? What is going to come up in that trial about Bill Clinton that hasn't been talked about for years?
Well, now
we've known that. In fact, they've done such a great job. I haven't seen one of the Epstein girls claim that they had sex with Bill Clinton.
Matter is that now all of a sudden we're focused on Hillary, whereas
no.
You're reading too much into it.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, hey, listen, thanks for the call. Good morning. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, Helen.
Hey, Helen.
Hello.
Hi.
You're up. What's going on?
I've been saying for a couple of days. I'm calling regarding the Hillary thing.
Yes.
I've been saying for a couple of days that she's gunning for Kamala's job because it's been reported that they're trying to push Kamala out, especially Jill. She can't stand her, and suddenly Hillary appears.
Yep.
It's all sympathetic, and she's gunning for her job.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't say she's sympathetic. Hillary Clinton is the least self-aware person I've ever seen in public life. She really is. She has no idea. I mean, listen, she has not one redeeming quality. Not one. She cracked up on election night. She couldn't come out. She had to send a man out to concede for her. She got her friend Chris Stevens killed in Benghazi.
She's a murderer.
She's a terrible person. She's a terrible person. Yeah, but
isn't that a basic requirement?
But we're not Democrats. We're not Democrats. Remember when Democrats were ready for Hillary, and then after she lost to Trump, they spent 6 months tracking her down and thanking her all the time? I don't know what they were thanking her for, but losing, I don't know. Remember that?
What I remember is all the screaming and screaming up into the air. I swear there's a bubble hanging over Mars somewhere.
But there's one thing that we can say about Hillary Clinton. She didn't sleep her way to where she's at.
You'd ever want her anyway.
Yeah, just that one time when she got pregnant with Chelsea.
I wouldn't want her.
No, she's so attractive. She's so attractive. And those pantsuits.
Yeah. I loved reading the email from her staff that they were complaining to John Podesta to talk to her about her personal hygiene.
Well, oh my good, yeah, I remember that. You know, this thing, she smelled. She smelled. And she was doing public appearances, and someone noticed that she was not smelling very good. Because she was getting so obese. When people get that obese, it's difficult for them to bathe properly. So Podesta had to go talk to her.
I will never forget that.
I know, it's hard to believe, but it's true. It's true, Steve. But she's doing this MasterClass on... all right, hey, thanks for the call. She's doing this MasterClass on perseverance or something. I mean, when you look at her whole life, public life, she does not have one, and I'll throw this out to any liberal, unchallenged. We'll have to do the unchallenged to give them the courage to call about it. Give us one redeeming quality of Hillary Clinton, something that she's done that's positive. I can't think of any. The fake Russian dossier, defending the kitty rapist that raped the young girl. You remember that? She was involved in destroying the lives and reputation of sex assault victims of her husband. She got her friend Chris Stevens killed. I mean, there's not one positive thing that Hillary has ever been involved in that I can think of. But, hey, maybe you've got a better memory than I do. 1-888-GO-CANE, 1-888-465-2631. Now, I want to tell everybody, as we're in Christmas shopping season right now, there is no better gift than a MyPillow anything. I mean, whoever is on your gift-giving list, you will find something for them at MyPillow.com. And with the promo code CANE, there are incredible deals. 40% off the MyPillow My Slippers. That's an incredible deal, and they make a perfect gift for anyone on your gift-giving list. The MyPillow 6-piece towel set, normally $110. With the promo code CANE at checkout, just $39.99. The MyPillow itself, regular price $70. With the promo code CANE at checkout, just $19.98, the lowest price ever. The MyPillow 3-inch mattress topper. I sleep on this mattress topper. It will change your life. With the promo code CANE at checkout, this is the thickest mattress topper that Mike Lindell makes. With the promo code CANE at checkout, 50% off the MyPillow mattress topper. There are many other specials there, like 30% off the MyPillow bathrobes. My wife and I have those as well. Whatever special you see at MyPillow.com, you can take advantage of with the promo code CANE, K-A-N-E, no matter what the special says. And if it's somebody that's out of town, you can actually have it shipped to the recipient. So go to MyPillow.com, use the promo code CANE, K-A-N-E, for huge savings. You can also order by phone, 1-800-716-4879. 1-800-716-4879. Promo code CANE. We'll be right back after this.
Know how beautiful and lush Florida is, with the abundance of trees and bushes. But if you want your home to look great, all of that greenery needs to be trimmed and well kept. So when it comes to trimming your trees, you want a pro, one who knows how to cut, when to cut, and the difference in each type of tree. And the best in South Florida are the professionals at GoPro Professional Property Care. With over 50 years of experience in South Florida, they know what's best for your trees and how to make your home look spectacular. With all the electrical wiring around, tree trimming is too dangerous to do yourself and requires a professional that you will not find by hiring just some guy with a truck who knocks on your front door. In fact, tree trimming is so much more than just cutting branches. It's about maintenance and keeping your trees healthy and having curb appeal. GoPro Professional Property Care is licensed and insured, available 24/7 for any tree emergency. GoPro does it all too. Tree trimming, pruning, tree removal, stump grinding, root removal, lawn care, and installation. And that's just the start of what they do. Call Nathan. He's Steve Kane's personal tree trimmer, and now he wants to work with you. 954-680-7739. He's also available for condos, HOAs, and businesses. 954-680-7739. 954-680-7739. And make sure you tell them you heard about them on the radio. 954-680-7739.
If you suffer with diabetes, did you know there's a 25% chance that you will develop a foot ulcer at some point in your life? And foot ulcers, when you have diabetes, can lead to severe health consequences up to and including amputation. Now, Medicare recognizes the importance of preventative foot care and has provided coverage for those of you who are at-risk patients. I want to introduce you to my good friends at the Soul Authority. At the Soul Authority, at little or no cost, you can receive your very own pair of therapeutic shoes made specially for diabetics. You're probably not aware, but as a diabetic Medicare recipient, you are entitled to one pair of high-quality diabetic shoes with 3 custom inserts per year. These are not the ugly Frankenstein shoes. These are name-brand shoes. They're stylish. They'll provide you with the extra width and extra depth to stop diabetic foot problems before they begin. Oftentimes, amputation due to diabetes is preventable, and one of the preventable measures that is most effective is wearing the proper shoes. Call the Soul Authority at 954-597-7060 or online at thesouauthority.com. That's THESOLE authority.com. Tell them Steve Kane sent you.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just think.
Oh, man. All right. We are back. By the way, yeah, go ahead. Okay.
That you never could imagine would happen that are likely to happen.
Oh.
The first one has already happened. That's the guy setting the Christmas tree burner out on bail.
With a cigarette lighter. With cigarettes and a lighter.
And a match.
I'm not kidding. The first thing he did, Steve, was walk out and light up his smoke.
I know.
I'm not kidding.
That's one. Smollett getting a hung jury and not getting convicted on this round. That's one. And what's the other one? Oh, yeah. The fact that the UN is using our dues money to pay to facilitate illegal aliens coming into the country. That's a scandal.
I was looking for that story online during the break. I couldn't find it. Even Fox just no. Well, you know, what does that mean? They're paying for the caravans? Is that what are they? Because there's a lot of organization with them.
They're paying the families, the illegal families that are coming up. They're financing the trip up.
Oh my. They're paying the cartels then and the coyotes, I guess.
Exactly right. Things that you would never dream possible that are possible in today's Democratic Party.
Yeah. You know, with Biden, it really shows you how important having a with-it president is. I mean, we're just leaderless in this country. Just leaderless. You know? And everyone in government, everyone in authority is doing their own thing. And that's why there's so much chaos. You know, I wonder, they got this new mayor's coming in a couple days, right, in New York City.
De Blasio, he attacked De Blasio. the new mayor. What's the new mayor's name?
It's Eric Adams. Yeah.
Yeah, he's involved in a conflict with de Blasio already.
Is it over the mandates that he's throwing in at the end?
Yes, absolutely.
Well, with the new mayor, we're going to find out real quick if he's the real deal or if he's just another jerk. But in his inauguration, which the swearing in of the New York City mayor is handled as a very big deal. It's almost like a presidential inauguration. Bill Clinton swore de Blasio in the first time, but Eric Adams, if he came out and said, if you do crime, you're going to jail, that would be helpful.
Start with this particular issue right here.
Yeah.
If he got up and announced he was vacating the order of de Blasio's decree of the...
Well, de Blasio, when de Blasio is out, we're going to learn how corrupt this guy really was. Remember there was that story where his wife, all that money went missing from her fake foundation, and this guy is probably the most corrupt man to ever be mayor of New York City, which is saying since the Tammany Hall days. And he's going out by making a lot of enemies. So hopefully, maybe he'll get some justice.
For running for the leadership of New York.
Oh my gosh. When's the last time a mayor has become governor? Has it ever happened? From mayor to governor. In New York, because New York does have some conservatives in parts of it. Getting elected statewide as a New York City liberal isn't the easiest thing. But he's another one who's also, like Hillary, not very self-aware. He's angling for something with these last-minute things, but this new mayor, if he came in with a strong crackdown on crime, and if he doesn't, that'll let us know we're in trouble. Because New York City is not a safe place to visit, and they depend on tourists, that city. And tourists are afraid to go there. Afraid to go there for good reason. Oh, hell no. No, you have to be out of your mind. I talked to someone recently who was in New York, and they said everywhere they went, they could smell marijuana. That they're openly smoking marijuana. I guess, is it legal in New York City now, smoking marijuana on the streets? Apparently, everyone's doing it, whether it's legal or not.
Back when I was working in New York, it was true then.
Yeah, but that was in the Dinkin days. That was before it was cleaned up by Giuliani. So, everything Giuliani did in New York has been totally wiped out. I mean, it's back in the 70s and 80s again. And it's you were talking with Bill O'Reilly yesterday. It's like Escape from New York. And that's exactly what it's like, It's very, very dangerous. And I don't know New York in the 70s. I didn't go there in the 70s. Oh, the Warriors, yeah, exactly.
Whole genre of film, actually, when they were made, they were considered science fiction,
Yeah.
True.
Yeah, exactly. And I would say New York is more dangerous now than back then because the police are afraid to enforce the laws now. Back then, they would crack heads if they had to. Today, a cop arrests someone, that's it.
Like this.
Yeah, a cop arrests someone, next thing you know, they're up on charges themselves and the cop's on trial. That's so no. I think no, I would not go to New York under any. I wouldn't go to New York for an all expense paid trip to New York right now. There's no way. It's just not. It's too. My daughter and I were talking about going to New York. You can't even walk down the streets anywhere in places that used to be considered safe. But it's not just New York. It's every liberal city. The crime. There's a massive crime wave going on in this country, and there was some statistics came out yesterday. The murder rates have increased double digits in all the major cities in the last year, and the Democrats, Trump, that's the solution.
Where's that on that? Let's just take Trump. If Trump was in power now, what are a couple of the suggestions you would make to him that you think that he realistically might do to get things under control? I can't think of anything.
No, like I give you an example of Trump. Okay, last year Trump did something that was pretty amazing, right? There was, and this looked to be a local. There were local crimes taking place where they were defacing public buildings, And Trump said if you touch a statue or anything, 10 years, and it stopped instantly on a dime. And that was an executive order. The reason things are increasing is because the criminals are afraid. They're not afraid.
And that's a very realistic possibility.
Mm-hmm.
Orders.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Do
a lot by waving his magic wand.
Now, for those that want to see Bill O'Reilly with President Trump, there's 2 Florida events. The first one, it's a national tour, just a small number of cities. The first one is Saturday right here in South Florida in Sunrise at Panthers Arena by the Sawgrass Mills Mall. And then on Sunday, there's an event in Orlando with President Trump and Bill O'Reilly. To get tickets, go to Ticketmaster.com. A lot of people have been contacting me about this. Go to Ticketmaster.com, type in Bill O'Reilly. It'll come up and you can get your tickets to see President Trump with Bill O'Reilly. All right, let's take our break. It's 8:31. If you're on hold, stand by. Back with your calls after this break. Don't go anywhere.
This is Lori Kane, and I want to tell you about Brighton Dental Care. I just had
Steve Kane Show.
Done, and I avoided going to the dentist for a lot of years.
Steve Kane Show.
I was afraid of the cost, but I went to Brighton Dental.
You got to speak up. I can't hear you.
Which, by the way, he offers to all Steve Kane listeners.
Yeah, hold on.
2 cavities. I needed a crown on top and a crown on the bottom. If I were a horse, they would have put me down. So I scheduled my appointment for the next Saturday because Brighton Dental has Saturday appointments available, and they saved me a ton of money. And I will be a patient for life. Don't let cost stop you from taking care of your teeth. Brighton Dental gives Steve Kane listeners incredible discounts on all dental procedures, just like they gave me. Prices are so reasonable, you don't have to worry about the cost. So call Brighton Dental today at 954-922-4633. That's 954-922-4633. You can visit them at BrightonDental.com and tell them Lori Kane sent you.
Traveling, you need a COVID test? Maybe you need a COVID test for work or school. Stop by Any Lab Test Now of Boca or Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs. They offer all the COVID testing panels you need at the lowest prices, including the antibody test. Results in 15 minutes. Any Lab Test Now of Boca is located in the Southwest West, where we're situated south of Palmetto Park Road and north of Hillsborough on the east side of 441 State Road 7. Call 561-237-5009. Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs is located on the southeast corner of University Drive in Ramblewood, near the Coral Square Mall in Coral Springs. Call 954-906-5983. Make sure to tell them you heard about them on The Steve Kane Show.
The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group. Are you concerned with the distribution of your assets at the time of your passing? Avoid probate. Call the Siegel Law Group with 9 offices throughout South Florida, from Palm Beach Gardens to Coral Gables. Call toll-free 1-855-FLA-3782.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for W.
All right, we are back. You want to go back to the phone, Steve? What do you want to do? Yes. All right, let me give out the number 1-888. Okay, 1-888-GO-KANE-1. That's 888-GO-KANE-1. 888-465-2631. Good morning. You're on the radio. What's your name?
Hey, Brian. It's Greg.
Oh, hey, Greg.
How you guys doing? How you doing, Steve?
I'm doing great. Better than New York.
I just visited in New York, and I felt completely safe there. I mean, I went for a weekend. Why are you making this like fear mongering about New York, Steve? What do you think New York is a scary place to visit?
You can walk down the street in New York, and somebody in broad daylight, somebody will walk up and take a knife and slash your face.
Let me give you a specific. Let me give you a specific example. If Steve and I went to New York with our families, of course, one of the places we would stop is by the beautiful Christmas tree in front of Fox News. We could have been victims of a massive arson attack yesterday. It's dangerous.
You're based upon one mentally ill person. I'll say that. He must be mentally ill instead of Christmas tree.
No, based on one mentally ill person, I would still not go to New York.
No, Brian, you know what? Listen, forget the New York tree incident with Fox News. By the way,
let me stop. going to keep on for a minute here, see if we can get a coherent discussion going. Why do you call in here and try to make yourself look like an idiot? That's what I want to know. I can understand, listen, nobody does. Hey, listen to what I'm saying. I've got a short fuse this morning because I'm pissed off at all these things that are going on, including my city, New York, the land of my birth, being destroyed by liberals like you, all right? So what I'm saying to you is, why do you realize when you say that, 90% of our audience says, oh, what a moron this guy is. Why do you want to make yourself look like a moron in front of the audience? That's what I want to know.
No.
You answer that question. Answer the question.
You're the one.
You're not going to get to you're not going to get to say anything else unless you answer that question first. Answer the question. Why are you trying to play so stupid? You don't have an answer, do you?
You know what that means? Steve, you know what? You're the idiot. You're scaring people. You guys are fear-mongers sometimes. And then you're coming up with this weird argument. You think Kamala Harris is going to be removed and then sent to the Supreme Court and here we put in? You guys are idiots.
Steve Kane Show.
Hold on. Did you hear me say that? Did you hear me say that?
Money on it?
Do you want to? Did you hear me ever hear me say that about Kamala Harris being on the Supreme Court? Why? Don't put words in my mouth. Get off the phone, you jerk.
That is a textbook case. Dr. Lemaski, he should call Dr. Lemaski on Saturdays at 11 for the therapy, because that tells you when someone is consumed with disliking you, because he doesn't like me, he doesn't like Steve, what they'll do. He's trying to tell listeners that New York is a safe city today. Corporations are telling their employees to dress down and don't wear professional clothing to work so they're not mugged on the way to work in the morning. So what the hell is, that's pretty bad.
Likes to look stupid.
You think? Well, I do know people that like to look stupid, but all right, let's go. You're on the air. Good morning. What's your name?
Hey, good morning. It's Jim from New York. How you doing?
Oh, hey, Jim.
James, what's up?
So Greg, too, tells us that... hold on, Jim. Greg, too, has just told us that New York City is one of the safest cities in America today.
Well, and that's why I'm calling. I mean, he's either unaware of his surroundings, stupid, or just really wants to argue with
Steve
you guys
Kane
for
Show.
no apparent reason, because if he says it,
Steve Kane Show.
out of his mind.
Hold on.
Yeah. We've known that for a while about Greg,
so
too.
I'm just putting my 2 cents. I think he's just looking for an argument.
This is what it is, okay? He is the coyote and Steve and I are the roadrunner. He is desperate, trying to trip us up and make us look bad, and he's getting really desperate these days.
Well, and again, I sincerely hope that Eric Adams does turn things around a little bit, because he is talking tough, much tougher than this.
Yeah, but he's still a Democrat, right? So,
He's still a Democrat.
He's got a great opportunity here to reverse this, to reverse this final decree of de Blasio's. He's given him just a perfect opportunity to show what he's made of. Let's hope he's made of better stuff than his predecessor.
Well, your lips to God's ears. I mean, you walk through the city,
Steve Kane Show.
And reeks of marijuana. You always got to be
Steve
looking
Kane
over
Show.
your shoulder. And like Brian said, the cops try to do anything, they're worried about losing their jobs and their pension. So it's a war zone. So, Greg, you're out of your...
All right. Hey, Jim. Take care. Jim from New York. Great caller. Good morning. You're on the radio.
It's important to know we have sane people.
Yes, we can hear you.
Good morning. I'm Julio. I'm a former New Yorker, and I'm currently...
Hey, Julio. And how are things down by the schoolyard?
I'm retired law enforcement from New York, and Eric Adams is going to do absolutely nothing. He was terrible as a cop, as a sergeant, as a lieutenant, and as a captain.
Hey, Barry.
And he was in favor of getting rid of stop, question, and frisk. After they got rid of stop, question, and frisk, New York fell apart. Good luck for all the lip talk that think that Eric Adams is going to save New York City.
You know, stop and frisk is not something you necessarily need in good times, but in bad times like now, it saves lives. I mean, let me ask you, as a retired New York cop, what are your thoughts on this Christmas tree arsonist being set free without bail?
The justice system in New York is a revolving door. They go in and out. That's the way it's been for many, many years. It's crazy.
Yeah. I think you're right about Adams, though.
You got to realize is that it's what's going on now. It's not just New York. When we talk about New York has become a symbol of the decay and the decadence. But the fact is, it's every major. When you think about it, pretty much every major metropolitan city in the country is in the same situation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, maybe Steve, hold on. Every major place in the hold on, caller. Every major place in the country run by Democrats. If Democrats run it, there's a crime wave going on right now.
Yep, I agree. Chicago, look at Chicago. Soon we're going to be competing with Chicago.
Look at places like Portland, places that are like, even places like that are being overrun. Yeah, liberals. Oh. All right, hey, listen. Welcome to the show, Julio. Well.
Do you agree that if Trump was in, do you think he could pass some executive orders that constrain that the country is salvageable?
Yes, I think he could.
Yeah, no doubt.
It would take.
Well, listen, Julio. Thanks for the call, and call us again. On the line, Steve, we have your attorney Barry Siegel from the Siegel Law Group. Good morning, Barry.
Barry, how are you?
I'm great. How are you doing, Steve?
Excellent.
Great. Well, we're already at December 9th. We're coming up on Christmas and New Year's, and the things that we all think about are our family, our friends, the people we love and care for. And also, it's that time of year where we're thinking about, oh my gosh,
I'll get it, because
I got to start my Christmas.
Get it when I'm talking to a caller.
So already, and really, what better gift to give anyone that you care for and love than the gift of making sure that we don't leave a mess behind for them, the gift of protection, the gift of peace of mind. And that, of course, I'm talking about is making sure that we have our plans in place for ourselves so we don't leave a mess behind for our loved ones. They don't have to go through the court process of probate when we're no longer here. We can leave them with peace of mind, protect the inheritance we leave to them from divorces, from lawsuits, from creditors, and all of those kinds of things. And we can also give the gift of estate planning to our children to take care of their grandchildren, your grandchildren as well. So in this holiday season, I mean, it's always nice to get a new tie, a new sweater, something like that, but also the gift that keeps on giving, peace of mind, is also a great gift as well.
Yeah, no doubt about that, and it's always a free consultation with the Siegel Law Group for listeners of the Steve Kane Show. So when you call, make sure you tell them you heard about them on the radio. Give the Siegel Law Group a call, toll-free, 855-FLA-3782. 855-FLA-3782, and online, SiegelLawGroup.com. All right, Barry, we'll finish out the week tomorrow.
All right, you got.
All right, Attorney Barry Siegel. Steve, let's grab a call or two before the Gold Report. Good morning, you're on the radio. What's your name? Hey, Andrea.
Hey, Andrea, how are you?
I'm doing just great. This thing I find most interesting about Greg Q's comments is that basically Greg Q doesn't live in New York, does he?
He lives in the state of denial, I think. No, he lives here in South Florida. Yeah, it wasn't that clever, but it was, it was an attempt. No, he lives here in South Florida, yes.
thing now. So it's like going to New York for 48 hours is completely different than living in New York. So the odds of something, tragic happening to you because you're only there for a very short period of
That's a good point.
just getting in and out of town is substantially less living there 24 hours a day, 365 days a year.
Yeah, the odds are not in your favor if you're the longer you're there. Exactly.
If you ride the subways.
So, well, Greg too is probably not a subway rider.
No. He's an Uber X rider. The luxury Ubers.
Well, and you know what? Good for him. I hope that's exactly what he does.
Yeah, but as a liberal, with a liberal, the last thing he wants is contact with the regular people.
Well, right.
Hey, Andrea, we got to run, but hey, thanks for the call, and that was a very sharp point you picked up on that Steve and I didn't grab onto. All right, it's time, Steve, to check in with William Youngerman from the offices of William Youngerman Incorporated with the Morning Gold and Precious Metals Report. William Youngerman, good morning.
Good morning, Brian. How you doing?
Great. How the metals looking today?
Metals giving us one of those strategic buying opportunities that we look for whenever we can, and that's what we've got going on today. How long it'll last to be seen, but yesterday we saw gold trade in a range of $1,779 all the way up to $1,794 before taking profits came in and pushed it down to $1,783.30 on the close. That was down 8 cents. Silver was down 8 cents, closing out the day at $22.42 the ounce, while platinum was up $4 at $956, and palladium was up $3 at $1,795. Overnight, we saw gold trading in a range of $1,774 to $1,788, and right now, gold down $5.40 at $1,778 the ounce. Silver, big loser this morning, under that $22 down 52 cents at $21.90 the ounce. What a bargain. Platinum down $11 at $9.45, while palladium is down $48 at $1,747 the ounce. U.S. dollar is obviously stronger. Oil is still up to $71.50 a barrel. So we'll see how numbers come in tomorrow, but certainly.
Yeah, that means the metals are on sale today. So what's the best buy today? Is it silver at this price or is it gold? I know they're both great deals, but which would you recommend today?
A fabulous bargain right now. I think silver under $22 is.
Yeah, that's looking good. Now, William Youngerman opens up one Federal Highway on the south side of Palmetto, on the first floor of the Bank of America building. You can find them online at williamyoungerman.com or give them a call, 1-800-327-5010. 1-800-327-5010. All right, William Youngerman, we'll finish out the week tomorrow. All right, take care. Well, there's only one opening on the board where William Youngerman was. I've not answered these phones. All the lines are lit. I don't know who's who. So this is just a roulette wheel of calls, Steve. I'm going to take them at random. I have no idea who's on hold. Morning. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yes, it's John and Chubby.
Oh, hey, John.
The whole morning. He made my whole morning arguing with like that. That was.
Oh, Steve. He said Steve. Oldie, but okay. All right, take care. Good morning. You're on the radio. What's your name?
Hi, Jessica.
Hey, Jessica.
Again, Greg too is open-mouthed, inserted foot because he's never lived in New York City. I will not, as a truck driver, go into New York City and risk possibly my life or my load. And so I retired from doing the East Coast. So that's basically what I'm going to leave it as today. Both of you have a great day.
Okay. These callers are being short but sweet.
There's a man with good common sense.
Yeah. Good morning. You're on the radio.
Hey, Ron.
I got a question like I got Al that called before, you know, the...
Al from Coral Springs, yeah.
Everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If he's a you talked about about Democrats creating the slavery. Then why does he vote Democrat? I wonder. Did you ever mention that?
Because he likes to be on the Democrat plantation. He's kind of like, I don't know, what did they call them? The slaves that would not run and leave the plantation. Yeah, exactly, an idiot. There you go. Yeah. He likes it on the plantation.
I don't agree with slavery, but sometimes these liberals like him that are stupid the way they act. Like, and I'm not trying to compare this, like with Trump's motto, "Make America Great Again." His motto should be "Make Slavery Great Again." Like, if I could say want to bring it back, then
I'll tell you what. In all seriousness, I'm not going to disagree that Al is an idiot. I mean, that's obvious, okay. But this is the deal with Al, okay. Why we're not talking about Al the John. There's Al from Coral Springs, who's liberal and black. He doesn't know he was raised that way. He was raised as a liberal racist who hates white people. And he's been brainwashed into thinking that the Republican Party is a white supremacist organization. He's like, it's almost like a child that's raised by a Klansman, you know what I mean, in a different way. He's been raised to hate. And the reason that he gets angry with us on this program... Yeah, go ahead. It's his own research. Well, the reason that he's angry is because his reality is being questioned every time he listens to this program. And it hits too close to home. Yeah, he knows we're right, and he still wants to be a bigot. He is a textbook racist.
Show was joking around with me personally. He was like saying to me that sounds like that if he was like Wheezy, remember Wheezy that became called
Wheezy? Oh my goodness. I like that. Yeah. Yeah, son of Wheezy. Yeah, I like that. Al's always good. We don't have to do something to make him angry. He is always angry. I mean, it's you know, yeah, son of Wheezy. Yeah. Hey, thanks for the call. You know, yeah. Son of Wheezy.
Wheezy. Son of Wheezy.
That sounds like some honorable title of some famous house of royalties, you know. Yeah. Well, Al, the son of Wheezy on line 3. I like that. Yeah. Well, the reason that Al is getting more unhinged lately is because he's about to wake up. He's starting to. He realizes we're right on all of these things. His entire life, he's been sold lies by his teachers, by his family, and that anger isn't really directed towards us. He's about ready to come out as a conservative, and he's fighting against it. That's how I read it. I don't know. What about you, Steve? Yeah. I'll tell you what's not a theory, which is actually scientific fact, and that is Wings Plus on Sample Road in Coral Springs has the best wings in America. I mean, there's just no getting around it. You know, I as often as I can, I try not to let this happen, but every time we talk about Wings Plus, I know this is a mental thing. I know it's not real. I know it's my subconscious. I can smell the wings at Wings Plus right now. I'm smelling them. Every time we talk about Wings Plus, my mouth waters, and I can smell the wings, and sometimes it's the hot wings, the medium hot, but sometimes it's that lemon pepper. And I know it's crazy. Yep.
Notable. I don't know if I'm the only one that's noticed this, but everywhere, literally everywhere you go, even if you're dealing with fast food or whatever it is, the quality restaurants you used to like, you go and you eat at them now, the food's not the same. It's a turnoff. If you can't find a decent edible meal anywhere, the only place I know that I go where the quality has been maintained years, and it's as good today as it was for the years that I've been eating there. Wings Plus.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And everything is homemade right there on the spot, including the sauces on the wings. Everything is homemade. The soup's homemade. Clam chowder, homemade. Chili, homemade. If you're eating it at Wings Plus, it's homemade right there on the spot. And that's unheard of. Most restaurants, everything's microwaved now. Can you imagine? You go to restaurants and they serve you I can do the microwave at home. Wings Plus, the Sample Road location in Coral Springs, is about a mile west of University Drive on the south side of Sample. When you stop in, make sure you tell them you heard about them on the Steve Kane Radio Show. Well, that's it for us today. Steve, you want to sign us off?
Correct. Part of the operation, no question of that. We'll see you tomorrow morning. God bless America.
We've got you covered. AM 1470, FM 95.3, 96.9. South Florida's FM Money Talk Radio Network. WWNN, Pompano Beach.
All right, guys. Hey, thanks for watching today. Everyone, like the video before you go. That helps a lot. Like the video. And also share. Get your friends to sub. Tell them about this show, the MAGA show of record on the radio, and the YouTube MAGA channel of record, too. All right. I'll see you guys later. Oh, don't forget, check out my latest podcast episode, too.